Time now for your fan weather forecast, brought to you by the Milwaukee Area Napa Auto Care Association. 82 degrees, sunny skies right now, looking clear for the rest of the night, which is a beautiful thing. Low tonight of 56.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Good afternoon. Hope you are well. Charlie Usen producing today, like always. You know, it was funny last night because I had my kids' baseball game, 10U baseball game, and Charlie was right where I was. Like I drove by where he was, sitting inside the Milwaukee Milkmen game, and my kids' game got done. And I wanted to tell Charlie what happened in my kid's game. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. He's hanging with his boys at the game. I ain't going to bother him while he's at the game or whatever else. But literally, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, dude, I got to tell Charlie how my guy did, right? And obviously I didn't. You said you had a fun time at the Milkmen game, though.
Those games are always fun because it's never like too packed, sometimes on the weekend, but it's a Tuesday night. So they're like, first of all, parking around there isn't the greatest because all the lots around are like, oh, you can't park here for the stadium.
And if youth baseball is going on, that's even less parking.
So we're like,
right?
Oh, maybe the game is actually busier than we thought. Then we get in there, we're like, oh, no, it's just youth baseball.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
But we get there, we had seats like almost right behind home plate. I'm cheering as loud as possible because that's my favorite thing to do, and it's so quiet in there. So if you're even a little bit loud, the whole stadium hears. Right, it's awesome. It's so cool. They like do all the little games and stuff. So one of them, they were just walking around the stands and they were giving away scratch tickets. And just like to any row, so they had row scratch tickets. I was screaming so hard to get the scratch tickets. I didn't win anything. My girlfriend won $2, and then one of my buddies won $4.
She's got to be just loving being with yelling Charlie the whole game.
She was the one who was yelling with me to get the scratch tickets. Yes.
Okay. All
right. We got good matching.
She seems like she's a very chill, laid back person. I didn't see her.
I'm like that too. So like, sometimes you just let loose,
Yeah. You're
I think I've decided I'm going to be a super fan for the summer.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I love the Milkmen games. Not that they don't advertise or anything. We're just talking about. I love the shakes in the Milkmen games. All about their shakes. Their shakes are really good. Okay, coming up on today's show, Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day podcast. He'll join us here in the second segment of the show, talking about Packers OTAs. Micah Parsons talking to the media today as well. Dan Wolken of Yahoo Sports, senior writer there, covers college football, covers tennis, kind of covers everything. Talks about everything on his X account and so forth. Back on, what was it? I think it was May 26th. He was talking about Giannis and trade possibilities and so forth. And I had reached out to try to get him on. And as Charlie has figured out, and I have figured out, that this whole DM feature on X leaves a lot to be desired. So literally yesterday, Dan messages me just not happy with that platform. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I literally just saw this. I hate this thing. And I was like, oh, it's okay. He's like, I can come on whenever. Just let me know. So I said, all right, cool. Let's talk today. And lots going on today in college sports besides just the Giannis stuff. So we'll have him on coming up at 3:20. Looking forward to that. Micah Parsons, who did speak to the media today, was also on Jay Moore's podcast that Charlie made some clips of. So we're definitely going to hear about that coming up at 4:00 during our Green and Gold update. A piece in The Athletic talking about Giannis with Eric Name and Sam Amick. We'll talk about that coming up at 4:20. We're going to start off talking about what everybody is talking about. And when I say everybody, I don't literally mean like everybody on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. That's not what I mean. Okay? That's not what I mean. What I mean is everybody is talking about this. It's not just little old Wisconsin. Sports Radio Network is talking about this, and Duluth Superior on the Game, or WNFL in Green Bay, or the Game in Wausau, or the Fan in Milwaukee. No. Across the country, everybody's talking about it. TV, everybody's talking about it. Now, what is that? Skubal, of course. And last night, Terry Skubal, the stud pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, who everybody expects to be traded, MLB Tonight got into talking about the 4 teams potentially interested in Terry Skubal. And they proposed a trade package for the Brewers and everybody involved. Check this out.
He is a number 1. This is not you're requiring a guy that can give us depth in our rotation. He becomes a number 1. It changes everything for everyone.
Well, I don't know, because right now, stuff plays, swing and miss matters. If Tarek Skubal was traded to the Brewers,
he's still number 1.
Jacob Mizorowski's over
I get
104.
I get
K
it.
per 9's over 14.
I get it. He's still the alpha male.
I mean, this would be
still number 1.
way out of bounds for the Brewers, because normally they move these kind of guys, except they did pull the trigger on CC Sabathia. But the Brewers are in a different spot right now than they are when they acquired CC. They have 2 pitchers in Mizorowski and Harrison right now that give them a leg up. And if they
get Skubal with Harrison and Mizorowski,
they could win the whole thing.
They could win the World Series.
Yes, and we played some of that yesterday, and we'll talk more about that coming up at 3 o'clock. But I'm telling you, this has now been going on for days on end, and I cannot find the clip, probably because I'm in the wrong day. No, I'm in the right day. And I'm trying to find the audio clip I'm looking for, and I do not see it. The audio clip I'm looking for. So the one talking about the trade details that they proposed. So let's go. If we don't have the audio, that's fine. I can just read it.
It should be.
It's okay.
Lance Brodzowski's Skubal trade package.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful. I was looking for MLB Network. That's my fault. All right, so here we go. Check this out. MLB Network.
Joel Sherman came out yesterday on MLB Central and said the Milwaukee Brewers need to be the team to go get Tarek Skubal. It could put them over the top. Do the Brewers have a likely crop that could pull it off?
I think they do, but to me, it would be depleting more of their farm compared to the other teams we just looked at. First off, it'd be very funny if they trade the Mets for Jet Williams and then trade Jet Williams for Tarek Skubal. You're right. That would be pretty hilarious by Matt Arnold and staff there. Luis Lara is an interesting name, kind of like a glove-first, speedy contact type guy in AAA right now who's hitting a bit more for power. So he's, again, comboing 2 guys that are very close to the major leagues, which allows you to run into less variance. And then Bishop lets in is kind of like, I hate saying this, but a Jacob Mizorowski light, really big extension dude down the mound that they drafted post round 5 a couple years ago. So again, you get a piece, an arm there that's kind of interesting, couple years off. We'll see what the variance is there. But then you also get 2 bats that are immediately going to be able to be plugged into the major league.
Now, again, I want you to understand. He said Jet Williams, Luis Lara, and Bishop Bledson, those 3 to Detroit for Tarek Skubal. The simple question, would you do it? Would you make the deal? Would you trade those 3 guys to go get Tarek Skubal? Now, I saw Jim Bowden on another podcast or whatever talking about this deal with Skubal. And Bowden says he thinks it's going to be a 4 or 5 player deal with whoever they deal Skubal to, and it will take at least 2 of their top 10 players, top 10 prospects, I should say, out of somebody's farm system, whoever they're dealing with. Now, when the Brewers have the top farm system, you may not have to give up 3 and 4 and 5 in your farm system, because maybe your 6 and 8 are as good as the top 5 of another farm system, because everybody is ranked so high. So you may not even have to give up your top 2 or top 3 prospects, maybe, to even get this done. You could give up, prospect, 5 or 6, and prospect 8, and prospect 25, and prospect 42, whatever, in order to get this done. This deal here, Jet Williams, Luis Lara, Bishop Bledson, I do this all day. I don't even think twice. This deal would have been done as soon as it came out of their mouth. Yep, done. Send the paperwork in. Thank you. Have a good day. That's it. I don't need to know anything else. You know what? I don't even need to give him a physical. I don't even care. For this deal, even if it backfires, I'm still okay with it. You're giving up 2 5'7" guys And Bishop Letson could be a really good pitcher. Fine, I'll give you that. The other two, not worried. They're not hitting 45 home runs in a year, 40 home runs in a year. Could they both be all-stars at some point? Contact hitters with some okay pop and hit 15 home runs a year? Yes, Lara and Jet Williams both could do that. Are both pretty good defensively? Lara's a gold glove type outfielder? Yes. Am I going to regret that 5-10 years from now if I have Skubal? Nope. I'm not going to regret this at all. Now, if we're talking Madej's got to be involved, that's completely different. That changes the game. And I don't think they're going to trade Madej for a rental. We were talking about the other day about Alonso and what him and whether or not, what you would give up for him. Okay, well, that's a guy that has 3 years of control left. So I was reading Alvarez, yeah.
So you threw me off.
Sorry, I threw myself off when I said I couldn't think of his name. I was reading a piece today in The Athletic talking about Kyle Harrison. And Webb is in there, the starting pitcher for the Giants, and he's talking. I was like, I wonder what that looks like. So I looked at his contract. Man, I forgot that dude had been suspended for PEDs. I forgot that he had the knee issue or whatever else. So I quickly turned my attention away from that. But he's got like 3 years left on his deal at like $23, $24 million a year. So I don't think I even want to go down that road either. Because if you do deal for somebody that's got a long-term contract, then Madej is probably going to have to get involved if they're a really, really good player. But for a rental, you should not have to move Madej at this point. Now, Luis Pena is right there at the top of the heap too, but something happened to him again last night. He got sick or whatever. They had to help him off the field. So he played, 5 games or something like that since he's come back from the fainting illness that he had in the dugout. So don't know how long he's going to be out or what the sickness is or anything like that. So that is, as of right now today, you're not trading him. Nobody's going to want to touch him because nobody knows what's wrong with him, apparently. So I don't think that's going to be a thing at this point with him. So this deal here, I love this deal. I don't know what y'all think. You tell me. Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Don't forget, stream us live at WI Sports Radio on YouTube, Instagram Live, on X, and of course, on the Fan Milwaukee Facebook page. Hey, don't forget, when you're at YouTube, subscribe. Please subscribe when you're there. That way, you'll always know what's going on over here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It's not that hard. You're watching us anyhow. Just smash that like button, that subscribe button, and off to the races we go. Charlie Usen, what say you?
I think when I look at this deal on its own, I'm in for it with the Milwaukee Brewers. But when I think I compare it to what the Dodgers and what the Yankees are giving up in this, I know you look at the packages just from the Yankees' perspective. So the guys that they'd be giving up are their number 2 guy in Elvin Rodriguez, their number 3 guy in Dax Kilby. And then the last player in that group was Ben Hess, who is their number 5 prospect. But at the same time, the Yankees don't really have that star-studded prospect group. So those 2, 3, and 5 numbers don't mean as much as what we're talking about with the Brewers. With the Dodgers, they'd be giving up Mike Soroto, who's their number 4 prospect, and then River Ryan, who's their number 6 prospect. River Ryan is a 27-year-old pitcher, so that's something that people are a little worried about on their own too. So yes, he's a top prospect, but he's a little older on that end of things. It doesn't really feel like the Brewers package, I guess, is the floor could be lower. In my mind,
you think you give up less?
I would say so. If that's what those other 2 teams they're predicting they could possibly be putting in here, I don't know. I don't like this deal as much. So yes, alone the Brewers deal in a vacuum, I'm saying yes because I feel like they have enough behind those guys to supplement that
for sure.
At the same time, when you're comparing it to these other teams that are probably in a lot of people's minds already better than the Brewers and maybe could use the Taylor Skubal to guarantee a World Series, when I know a lot of people are starting to talk about that with the Brewers. They could have said that before the season with these 2 teams. This is something where I think the Brewers could back up a little bit and say, we can do Jet Williams and Luis Lara, and that should be good enough.
Correct. And that's the thing, right? So if you're Matt Arnold, do you want to make the deal or do you want to try and get the best deal possible? And sometimes that really is a question of what you're trying to do here. Either A, you go, what do you want? Get done. Or you do a Charlie go and go, nah, it seems a little steep. Even though in the back of your head, you're like, damn, that ain't much at all. Let me see how little I can get away with, though. I'm not going to say yes to anything. Kind of like when you have people in contract negotiations, the person that is the person trying to sign a new contract is always going to ask for a super high amount and then work backwards. And that the person that's in charge of giving you the money is going to start way, way lower. and hope to meet you somewhere in the middle or not. And then it takes forever in order to get that deal done. In this situation here, when you're making a trade, I don't know if it works the same way or not. Obviously, I've never been involved in making an MLB deal as a general manager of a baseball team. But Charlie's reaction is the measured, more responsible reaction. My reaction is one of emotion and a fandom of, hell yes, I'm doing that deal. Done. Call it in. Let's move on. Like that. That's the difference, obviously, and that's why I should never be allowed to be in that position.
I also, in my mind, I wouldn't be mad if they made that trade still. I'm still going to be happy that they're bringing in Tarik Skubal to the Milwaukee Brewers to guarantee that you have the top 3 best pitchers in each spot in that rotation in the entire league. That's phenomenal. That's be so cool to see. But at the same time, when these other teams could potentially be offering a little less, maybe that's concerning. I also think maybe there's a Brewers tax to this too. You're sending a really good pitcher to the team that develops pitchers better than anybody else. They could make them have the greatest half season in the history of baseball. And if you're the Tigers, maybe that does guarantee a World Series to you.
Oh, that is something else too that I really haven't thought about. The Chris Hook and coaching staff and their track record of, his ERA is whatever, but it's going to be probably a third of that by the time they get done with him and get him into their what they do.
If the Brewers want this guy, that means he's probably going to end up being pretty good. We should charge him a little more, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to become a thing at some point. Okay, all you got to do, WI Sports Radio. Follow along there on social media, streaming live as well. Dugout YouTube chat over there. What do you got?
Brenton says, right there with you, Sparky. Do that trade all day. Made and Fisher are the only untouchables.
See, and I tend to agree with you. Those are the 2 guys I wouldn't trade.
Isn't Pratt untouchable now too because you put that contract on him, or would that be a guy that you would trade for a long-term contract maybe instead of a Made? Could you finagle that into something because he's under that 8-year control?
It all depends on what they think of Made defensively. If they think Made is a top-end defender at shortstop, absolutely you can trade Cooper Pratt. No question. If you think Pratt is significantly better than Made at shortstop, then Pratt stays and Made goes to play a different position. With a bat, it's not comparable right now, Made versus Pratt. In 5 years, maybe it'll be closer. Pratt may become, a really good offensive player. Right now, he's not there. We know Made is moving up through the ranks because of his bat. And his defense is fine, right? He had that really fast 1-hop, 2, 3, 4, 5-hop throw that he had over 100 miles an hour from shortstop. So he obviously has an arm and can play the position. So that's something I don't know. I would be opposed to trading Cooper Pratt. I would have no issues with trading Cooper Pratt.
I think he would be on the board for me. Like, I look at this Brewers farm system, went back to MLB.com, their power rankings for the Brewers. Like, Jefferson Cuero, the way Marco Dingus keeps rising up his prospect rankings, he's 22 now. Yes, he's still at high A ball, but he's probably going to start moving up through the minor leagues. Jefferson Cuero would be on my trade board if I'm looking for
that. All depends. That all depends on what you think of Contreras.
I think either way, you got an option in the minor leagues, though.
Yeah, but hold on now. Slow down. In this instance, Contreras has 1 year left on his deal. If you're saying we're not trading him, we're going to let him walk after next year, depending on if you even play next year, but we're going to let him walk after the 27 season, then I think you can trade Jefferson Cuero because you're protected for next year. Then Dingus gets his shot at AA. And after that season, then you can determine, okay, do we think he's ready to make that jump from AA, maybe a cup of coffee at AAA by the end of the year to the big leagues? Or do we have to go find a veteran catcher or two to bridge us a year or two to get us to Dingus? That's something else to consider, obviously. A bunch of text messages coming here on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Again, if you're just tuning in, MLB Network suggesting a trade package that would be Jet Williams, Luis Lara, and Bishop Letts in the pitcher in exchange for Tarik Skubal. I said I'd do it in a heartbeat. What about you? Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250. Randy in Greendale says, Spark, the problem last year versus the Dodgers wasn't the pitching. Our bats. Oh, no, that's not Randy. Sorry, I read the wrong person. So this is somebody else. 414. Spark, the problem last year versus Dodgers wasn't the pitching. Our bats went ice cold. Give me a big bat. And I can completely get down and understand that. I just don't think that there are going to be any, quote, big bats really available at the deadline, as least as we sit right now. Now, this one is from Randy in Greendale from the 414. Say you go with Charlie's idea, maybe a little less if you could get away with a Jet Williams and then give them maybe a Gasser and a Crow. I do that in a heartbeat. that's Randy in Greendale.
I don't know if you get away with
he
that.
doesn't want to give up Lara.
I don't think you get away with that. I think it has to be at least 2 top 10 prospects, probably.
414 says, I would. I wish Lara wasn't in it, but we keep all top prospects, so I'm good with it. I don't think Detroit does that, though. Patrick in Tosa. I don't know. Let me explain to you my theory on trades right now and where I'm at as a fan of Wisconsin sports teams like you. I thought when we said Giannis on the trade block, or Giannis could get traded, I thought you would have a waiting list full of teams that wanted to get in on the biting of Giannis. Waiting list full of teams. Now, again, you don't know what's true, what's not true as far as reports go and so forth. But if you believe the reports, there's no waiting list of teams for Giannis right now. There's probably less than 5 teams, it appears right now, that potentially could make a play for Giannis. And apparently the rest of the league not interested, which to me is absolutely shocking. So I absolutely did not think that was going to be the case ever for Giannis. I don't care how old he is. So to your point of, yeah, you're going to have to give up more than that to get him. Do you? Maybe. I don't know. I would agree with you. I would. Absolutely, I would. No question. Got another one here on the Dugout YouTube chat.
Over there, BJ Buck says, is Sparky aware that Scooble is a free agent after this season?
Yes, that's why I keep saying he's a rental. Yes, that's what I mean by
rental. Don't want to trade higher prospects.
Correct. Yes, that's a rental. Just like CC Sabathia was a rental. Now, they've had other players that they've acquired that had longer term deals, right? When they got Christian Yelich, he was still under team control for a while. When they got Zach Greinke, they essentially had him for the rest of that year and another full season after that. So, again, you gave up a ton for Zach Greinke, right? A ton. So I don't think you're going to have to go to that extent to rent Scooble. I really don't. And because your prospect system, your farm system is ranked number 1, I'm telling you, you're not going to have to give up as much as what you think of the guys that we love and are invested in. They're not going to be able to wiggle those guys away from Matt Arnold. Can they wiggle away 3 or 4 guys? Yes. But it's going to be guys that are farther down the list. And those are going to be the guys that are gone. And I don't care where Andrew Fisher is on any damn list. Andrew Fisher and Made are in the same conversation as far as I'm concerned.
And Made, Fisher's 6, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, to me, Fisher's 2. You can do whatever you want with Pena, because until we know for sure that he is good and healthy and okay to play, I can't consider him 2. So for me, Fisher is 2, Made is 1. And then stack them up however you want to stack them up behind those top 2. Coming up next, Andy Herman from the Pack a Day podcast. We're late already. Goodness gracious. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
to be honest, like I don't feel like they've seen anything yet. I got a lot of confidence in myself, man, and I know what I have done. I mean, to me, it wasn't anything yet. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot more out there, and I'm excited for it. I know I'm going to prove myself right, and like I said, I know I got guys around me that's going to uplift me, and I mean, like I said, I feel like we got a great brotherhood here. Like everybody in this locker room, and we uplift each other, and we always got the most confidence in each other. So as long as we keep doing that, man, it's going to be good.
It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Fiber with you. Charlie Hughes producing. That was Matthew Golden yesterday about potentially taking a jump in year 2 from a production standpoint. We'll talk to Andy Herman, the Pack a Day podcast, momentarily. Don't forget, join Tommy Wirtz and leadoff show Explorium Distilled in the Deer District tomorrow at noon before Milwaukee plays the Giants. Then after the game, watch and listen to the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz as they broadcast live from 4 to 6 p.m. in Explorium Distilled on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That is all. We need a nickname. I don't know what it is. We call him the Legend. Do we call him Mr. YouTube? I don't know. Andy Herman joins us now from the Pack a Day podcast with his fancy room office that he has all set up in there. Like he's in a pack. That's horrible.
You don't like the Herminator?
No,
I like the Herminator. Come on.
No, first of all, once you are with Andy Herman, you realize he's nothing of a nader at all. He's not a Terminator, a Herminator, or anything else. I mean, that is just not the case.
Describe anybody as a nader.
No, like, for instance, like if you were, let's see, who could be like Trevor on Inside Wisconsin Sports. That dude's like 6'8". Okay, you could call him a Trevor Nader and get away with it. It's okay. Andy Herman, no. Andy Herman, sorry to be messing with you. How are you doing today, buddy?
I am fantastic. For the record, in my video gaming days, when I absolutely tore people apart, the Herminator was absolutely the username on the PlayStation
exactly.
Network. So, yeah, it may not be in real life. I might not win any arm wrestling contests, right. But if we're going one-on-one in Madden in my prime, you're going down.
Speaking of that, we're gonna get into the next segment. Were you shocked that Caleb Williams is on the cover of Madden?
No, he's a first overall pick. Kids love him. He made some crazy plays. There's not like Vince Young's been on the cover of Madden. Peyton Hillis has been on the cover of Madden. I'm not even saying this is as egregious as those two, but I mean, again, this Michael Vick first round pick, was he the best player in the league? No. Is he exciting? Yes. This is very on brand for Madden.
Well, Charlie is a Bears fan, and he was besides himself when this came out that he made the cover. So, but we'll get into that coming up in the next segment. Okay, I want to get your thoughts first there on Matthew Golden talking as we came out of break, talking about making this jump in year 2. Do we know why he didn't have a good rookie year? I guess that's where I want to start, because I've been speculating for a long time of it had to be something that we're not really talking about. Either his route running wasn't as good as it needed to be, or he just wasn't getting the separation like they needed him to get, or he wasn't on the same page with Jordan Love. Like, there has to be something here where you go, okay, this was problem A, and he knows he has to work out on the offseason, and now here in season 2, this is why he makes the jump forward. Or I'll give you another answer. It's simply they got rid of Dobbs, they got rid of Wicks, so now he's going to be forced to have more opportunities, and he'll be successful.
Some of column A, some of column B, some other stuff as well, some stuff in the middle. So first of all, not a productive rookie season. I will go to bat and say how I evaluated Matthew Golden when I went through with my grades. I was very high on his overall level of play when he got on the field a season ago. People, I don't think, remember there were a couple occasions early in the year where he got open deep down the field, and it just so happened those were a couple plays where Jordan missed him. And if he has a couple, 60, 70-yard touchdowns to his name, especially early in the year, that even feels a little bit different. I think we saw in that playoff game against the Bears exactly what he's capable of. Came up with some really key clutch fourth down plays. I think one against the Lions, and some clutch plays in some other games as well. So, I was still very, very high on what he put on tape a season ago when he actually got in the game. Now, as far as why he didn't have the productivity, why he didn't get on the field more, I think part of it is a very crowded wide receiver room. You had Romeo Dobbs, obviously had Watson and Reed missing different portions of the season, but you still had those two. Dontavian Wicks was getting time. I know people are upset that Bo Melton got time. He only got 90 some snaps. I'm more upset that Malik Heath got time. Probably he had a couple hundred some snaps a season ago. but they rotated those guys pretty heavily. And I do think, I know Dusty Evely, friend of the show as well, I know, he kind of went through and thought, that there was maybe some route running things, maybe not as being as precise as need be, that I think probably kept him off the field. And just the other thing too is it is a very meticulous position in Matt LaFleur's offense, and to learn 3 different spots in Matt LaFleur's offense is difficult as well. It seemed like as the season went on, especially in that Chicago game, and it sounds like right now where he's at, he has a much better understanding of the offense, exactly where to be, his routes, where to cut him off, etc. I expect all of that raw natural talent that we saw out of him, even early in his college career at Houston and then later at Texas, and what we expected when Green Bay drafted him, that's going to come out. And of course, Dobbs is gone. Wicks is gone. There's going to be a ton of opportunity. This is going to be the Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft show in 2026. And I'd be very surprised, as Jaden Reed mentioned yesterday, if we didn't see a pretty significant breakout from Matthew Golden.
Talking with Andy Herman, Pack a Day Podcast, joins us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Jordan Morgan, the man has been not spoken in the most positive light for the last couple of years, and now here we go. I mean, we started talking about, I saw Matt Steinman wrote a piece, who's got the most pressure and so forth, and I'm not going to say I agreed with half of what he wrote, but I will say that Jordan Morgan definitely should be like near the top of the leaderboard, if not at the top of the leaderboard, because if he goes out and struggles this year, Brian Gutekunst cannot afford to wait another year to see if he figures it out the second year as a starter. He has to make a move and try and remedy that as soon as possible. So as crazy as it is to think that a first-round pick gets 1 year to prove whether or not he's worth it or not, that's kind of where we're at with Jordan Morgan. And I was going through yesterday on the air, your little play-by-play on X yesterday, because, I love following Andy Herman. And kind of going through, and I didn't see a lot of positive stuff about Jordan Morgan, Andy. I didn't see a lot of positive stuff.
Yeah, he had a false start. It looked like he had an illegal procedure penalty as well. Just probably lined up a little bit too far back, which is, again, that's a practice thing, not the end of the world. And then it did look like he got beat by LVN for a sack as well in one particular play. Trench play is, you don't want to see the false start or some of the mental mistakes. Obviously, that's very avoidable, whether it's a practice or not. Trench play in OTAs with no pads on is pretty irrelevant. But what I will say is I agree with you in that they absolutely need Jordan Morgan to play a much better brand of football. I think Green Bay sometimes gets in their own way with getting players off to a strong start. I was very critical of how they started Josh Jackson out, the corner from Iowa. This was a off-ball zone corner, outside zone corner in college his entire career, and he crushed it playing that way. And Green Bay drafted him and immediately put him in the slot and played him in man-to-man coverage, something that he was never set to do in the NFL. And it just felt like he lost his confidence immediately, got off to a terrible start. The rest was history. I think he probably would have been bad no matter what, but it certainly did not do him any favors. Amari Rodgers, I think in a very similar way, they get him to be the slot guy. Then all of a sudden the Rodgers stuff happens. They trade for Randall Cobb. They gave him the return of responsibility. He was just bad, and he went to Houston, was bad as well. But I don't think they put him in the best position to succeed early on for an early draft pick. And I think Jordan Morgan, in a very similar way, we know they love their versatility, and everything out of college with Jordan Morgan was that he has 4 position versatility. It's going to be great. That sounds great. But in college, he played 1 position. He didn't play 2. He played 1 position all throughout college, which was left tackle. And here by like the end of minicamp and OTAs in his rookie season, he had already been at 4 different spots. And in the NFL now, in 2 seasons, he's played 4 spots in the league. And it just never really gave him the opportunity to settle into anything. And I think that has hurt him in some real way. The good news, if you're looking for positives, is he's back at his natural spot at left tackle. I think that's going to help him quite a bit. And there were moments, especially in that preseason game a season ago, which it's preseason, read into it what you will. But I think it was against Indy, and Indy had a pretty good group of edge rushers, even in some of their backups and things like that. And he looked really good and really natural at left tackle in that game. And then the other thing I'll add is Rasheed Walker, probably one of the more under talked about really poor seasons from a season ago. And I think PFF might cloud that a little bit. PFF was a little bit higher on him. I think the league was right on him. He got a 1 year, $4 million deal. got no starting caliber money, and now he's going to have to battle with Monroe Freeling in Carolina, just to even be the starting tackle. He might end up being the swing tackle in Carolina. I thought he had a really, really poor season a year ago. So the good news is Jordan Morgan has a pretty low bar to clear from where Rashid was at a season ago, but he needs to have a big season for Green Bay if they want to be successful up front.
Say what you want about Rasheed Walker, but at least he stayed on the field. I mean, and you're talking about last year and everybody getting hurt. And by the end of the year, you're talking about depth and how are they going to fix depth coming in? And it's, well, they'll go sign a veteran offensive lineman and that'll fix things and so forth. Do we feel any more confident about the depth of this offensive line now than we did last year?
The two words I'll say about that in regards to Rasheed Walker are Jordan run. That is still one of the best sound bites of the entire season.
Hey, he was trying to help and be a good teammate and communicate.
Yeah. Jordan run. But no, to answer your other question, I feel awful about the depth of the offensive line. Now, Jager Burton got time with the ones in OTAs before minicamp even starts. That's an impressive feat. A 5th round offensive lineman getting starting reps already. Now, Jacob Monk is out, so he had to kind of battle Darian Kennard and I guess Travis Glover for that spot. There weren't a lot of other options, but they didn't have to give him that. They could have just kept Kennard there. And the fact that they started rotating him already, that's a good sign. And I loved his tape. I did not get to watch him pre-draft. He was the only one that they drafted besides Trey Smack that I did not get to watch pre-draft. So I was excited to open that present and watch the film after Goody drafted him. And honestly, based on where they drafted him, probably my favorite tape of any of their draft picks relative to draft, status or where they took him. So I really liked him. And that gives me some hope that maybe they found something there in Jager Burton to give them some depth. But I'm not a Darian Kennard believer. He is fine if you need him for a game or two and you can get by with him. But anything more than that, and I think you're in significant trouble. And I just don't trust anything else. And it might end up having to be somebody like Jager Burton that steps up. And thankfully, there is some versatility on that offensive line. But no, I think it's a major question going into the season.
One guy that was hurt consistently was Aaron Banks. When he got healthier in the second half of the season, how much better when you went back and you watch all this did he actually get? Do you feel better about that position with him out there to start the year if he's healthy?
Yeah, so I don't think anyone's going to convince anybody, period, end of story, that Aaron Banks, even when he played well, was worth the contract that he got when the Packers signed him to that massive deal. But I will tell you, just on my grading, in the first 10 weeks of the season, when he was clearly not himself, not healthy, he had a negative 1.30 grade, which is not great.
Hold on. Let's catch everybody up. Everybody may not know the grading system for Andy Herman.
I was going to get there.
What's an average number? Like if you're average, what would the number be?
0 is average. Anything obviously in the negatives is bad. Positives is good. But in negative 1.30 over a 10-week period, I think he played in 8 of those games. Not actually 7 because the bye was in there. So 7 games, not a great grade for Aaron Banks. However, in his final 8 games of the season, he was a plus 1.25. And if you take those 8 games of plus 1.25 and extrapolate it through the course of the season, he actually would have graded as the Packers' best offensive lineman a season ago. And that's not saying much, but just in general, that is a good, solid offensive lineman. So if we get healthy, solid Aaron Banks, it's not one of those contracts that you're going to love, but you'll be like, they got a good starting left guard. It's not the end of the world. But if he continues to play like he did in totality of last season, it's more net neutral or slight negative, and that's not where you want him to be for somebody that you spent so much money on.
Talking with Andy Herman, Pack a Day Podcast. Of course, follow him on X at Andy Herman NFL and on Blue Sky as well, right? You're over on Blue Sky too, I believe, right?
Same handle.
So, same handle over on Blue Sky. Andy, let's talk a little bit about the kicker position, because I was not a fan of letting McManus go. I wasn't a fan of turning this over to a 6th round pick and saying, here you go, kid, it's all yours. We saw Goody struggle to figure out that position already once and got bailed out because McManus had stuff going on off the field and wasn't going to sign with anybody. So McManus bailed him out. Then he liked McManus enough to give him a long-term deal, even though, again, it's not all guaranteed money. I get it. But you still paid him and said, good, now I don't got to worry about the dumb kicker position anymore. Let's move on. Sorry, Mason Crosby, for calling it dumb. But that's where we were for him. Now you don't even have a competition and you send this kid out there at Lambeau. This ain't a dome. This is not a dome. It's not perfect conditions. There's going to be snow. There's going to be wind. There's going to be rain. It's going to be bitter cold, all of this stuff. And go, here you go, rookie. Go do it. And oh, by the way, it's Super Bowl or bust for most people around here. So don't screw it up in the playoffs because that's why we cut the last guy. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of how they went about their business. And I'm not going to overreact to him missing kicks yesterday. But I think this really is setting up for a gigantic letdown potentially if this doesn't work.
Yeah, so a couple things. I'm with you. Now, we don't know if McManus was upset about it and asked out and was like,
yep.
I'm out of here. I was your guy, and now you drafted a kicker. Get me out. I know he's kind of an old school guy in that regard. And so maybe he felt disrespected and was just like, I'm out in Green Bay's like, well, we're not going to deal with this. We're like, the likelihood is we're going to go with the rookie anyway. So we're just going to get rid of you now. And so maybe something like that happened. If it didn't, and even if it did, I think it's short-sightedness on Brandon McManus's part as well, who does not have a job right now. He is not kicking anywhere else. He's coming off a terrible season. He had some off-field concerns, obviously, prior to Green Bay picking him up. He was hurt. Yeah, he's old. He was hurt. Like, there's a lot going on with McManus. If he thought like he was just going to get cut and some team was immediately going to pick him up, I think he overthought his value. And I don't know that there would have been a better spot for him to compete than in Green Bay against a rookie kicker. And so either way, I thought that was short-sighted, whether it was by McManus or by the Packers, just because you don't know what you're going to get with a rookie kicker. We have seen this with Brett Conway. We have seen it with Anders Carlson. You just never know. Even if you draft a kicker, it is not a guarantee of success in the NFL. I understand the overarching idea of that you wanted to give him the primary snaps and give it, but like, even if he's kicking 80-20 to Brandon McManus, I'd still rather keep Brandon McManus around for that 20% of the time in the effect that, Smack just struggles and you need somebody else. The other thing, if you did need to move on and you're just like, hey, it can't be McManus. Okay. There's no way that Haversick is the kicker. Even if all of a sudden Trey Smack fails, they're going to go out and they're going to find somebody else. So do that now. Like, start looking for another kicker. Just have it be a little bit more of a competition. Again, even if it's 80-20, 70-30, that Smack's getting the work in camp and that you're trying to focus on him getting the job, fine. But if all of a sudden he continues to have, 5 out of 9, days, kicking, and it's one day, it's OTAs. I'm sure they're working on him on different stuff with his foot placement and his follow. I'm sure that there's some things that they're working with him on to change in the NFL from what he did in college. And there's always an adjustment period with that. But I would have given myself a few more outs if I were Green Bay in that situation.
We got a break here on this hard clock. I just need a one-word answer here because of the Dugout YouTube chat. Somebody's asking, if Morgan doesn't work out, who's the next option at left tackle?
It's probably Kennard this year, but to your point from earlier, they're going to have to go in a different direction next year if that happens.
There he is, Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day Podcast. It's amazing stuff. Every day, new Packers content. Go check it out. Andy is awesome. Follow him on X at Andy Herman NFL there on Blue Sky too. Andy, thank you so much, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Take care. There he goes. Andy Herman. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Habish, and Rotier. That is what we're talking about. If you're involved in a car accident and you're hurt, car's wrecked, you end up having to go to the doctor, or God forbid, you end up in the hospital. It's crazy, man. I've told the story before. Got sideswiped by a flatbed truck. I don't even know what year it was, 2010, something like that. I don't know. Sideswiped by a flatbed truck, spun around on 94 from the slow lane to the fast lane, and then smashed into on the passenger side of the door by a semi going about 75 or so, and pushed, like attached to his, I was off the ground all the way down for I don't know how many yards before he finally stopped. He thought he killed me. The guy driving the flatbed truck, he thought he killed me. And thankfully they didn't, because otherwise I wouldn't be here right now. But again, that is crazy stuff when you go through something like that. And you're scared and you don't know what to do, and you're looking for people that you can trust, that you can do. And this is what we're talking about. These guys have been around since 1930, man. Lots of people have trusted them. They got a national reputation because they win a lot. There's safety laws put in place because of things that they've been involved in at the end of the day. And then hometown services because they're approachable. You know, you're like a family member, you're like a friend. They want to make sure they do everything they can to help you out at the end of the day. 13 locations across the state: Wausau, Green Bay, Appleton, Madison, southeastern Wisconsin. They're everywhere. Check them out today. Again, Habish.com. Habish, and Rotier. National reputation and hometown service. Coming up on the other side, we'll continue to talk about the crew. Talking text line blowing up over the trade package that we brought up earlier for Tarek Skubal that MLB Network is throwing out there. We'll dive more into that, but also another question concerning Skubal. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, it is time again here on a Wednesday, hour number 2. Again, our thanks to Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day Podcast, joining us there in the first hour. Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports senior writer, joins us coming up in the second segment. Really looking forward to talking to him. Charlie's Sounds of the Day may or may not happen at 3:40, depending on how long we go with Dan Wolken. Charlie's already gone. There's no chance. It's an interview at 3:20. He's never going to get to be on time. But we'll see what happens.
You surprise me sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Green and Gold update coming up. More OTA stuff at 4 o'clock. Micah Parsons was on the Jay Moore podcast. Plus, he talked to the media today in Green Bay. We'll play some of that. But it is 3 o'clock, so we got to go do this.
It's time to talk about the crew. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Well, the Brewers know how to let down their fan base, that's for sure. So the Brewers announced today, just recently here, Robert Gasser is the pitcher for the Brewers tonight.
Shocker. I knew, like, in the deep part of my heart, it was going to be like him or just Carlos Rodriguez. That's what it always ends up being. It feels like on days like this.
It's funny because I saw people on X last night saying Gasser can't come up unless there's an injury because they just sent him down. So people are like, they'll come up with an injury for somebody if they want to call up Gasser. The lucky participant, left-hander Rob Z, placed on the 15-day injured list with a left trapezius strain, retroactive to May 31st. He just got here.
I was going to say, he just came back, too. That kind of sucks. Feels like he could help out the bullpen maybe a little bit if they were to get him back up. That sucks.
I get no excitement out of watching Gasser pitch. No,
not really.
None. I would have been fired up for Tyson Harden. I would have been jacked.
2
like,
years
let's
ago when
go
we were,
watch
when
him.
We were fired up about Robert Gasser.
We were.
It went away real quick when Jacob Mizorowski's as good as he is. Kyle Harrison's as good as he is.
And I'm not sitting here telling you I know everything about Tyson Harden. They drafted him last year, 12th round, but he's cruised through the farm system. He's got under a 1 ERA and 3 starts at AAA. It's his turn to start in Nashville today. Gasser is supposed to start tomorrow. Like, it all lined up for a Harden to get that spot. Now, the problem is they would have had to make a move on the 40-man in order to get it done. So then the speculation was, okay, well, they'll just move Priester to the 60-day IL. However, Priester actually pitched okay last night. What do you throw? 3 1/3, gave up 1 run. So then it's like, well, maybe they're not going to do that. And we all know they're not cutting Blake Perkins. So you're not going to cut any of the pitchers that you have out there, I don't think, at this point either. You're still waiting for Jared Koenig, to get back as well. So, it's so disappointing. Okay. The question is this. Do you think Tarek Skubal is the missing piece to a Brewers World Series? In the first hour of the show, we played a piece from MLB tonight talking about trade packages that might make sense for the Detroit Tigers from different teams. The Brewers trade package they threw out was Jet Williams, Luis Lara, and Bishop Letson, the pitcher. So essentially, utility infielder / outfielder in Jet, and then a Gold Glove caliber center fielder in Luis Lara, who's only 21 years old right now and playing his tail end off in the Brewers.
Shot up the Brewers rankings.
Right. Brewers just ignoring him. So that was the package. And we asked in the first segment of the show, would you do it? I said, absolutely. I'm not even thinking twice about it. Gone. See ya. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. This question here we were talking about doing last night, and we never got to it during yesterday's show. Coincidentally, MLB Network, they started talking about it since then and now. Sean Casey, the former big league first baseman with the Reds for a long time, and Mark DeRosa start talking about the Brewers and whether or not this team is built to win a World Series.
Are the Brewers built to win the World Series?
100%. And why I say that is because the Miz at the top of that rotation, what did he have in May? A .24 ERA? This guy, you want to talk about winning games. You want to face him in a 5-game series? 1-5? Absolutely not. And how about Kyle Harrison, who all of a sudden comes over in that trade for Durbin from the Red Sox? This guy's got a 1.57 ERA. So you got 2 horses at the top. And then that lineup, even that game last night, they just death of 1,000 cuts. They put together great at bats. They're a lot of line to line guys. They have some power guys. I think yes, they're a
I don't need to say any more. I mean, Yelich at the top of the order. Yep. Jackson Churrio's as good a young player as there is in a game. Tarang's a budding star. They're a lot better than people give them. Like we always say, Rays be raying. Brewers, they're not fooling anybody.
Yeah. I cannot tell you how crazy it is to hear the Milwaukee Brewers being talked about literally every day. Every day. Like every day we have sound from MLB Network of one of the shows doing a segment on them. It has gone so far crazy that Jake Bauers had a segment dedicated to him on the MLB Network. Like and I want to do this as a topic. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Let's say he goes away for the Bucks and they just have a cast of characters like Detroit, right? And a potential star in Cunningham. That's how I would assume the Brewers would be handled because they don't really have, now Miz may be that eventually, but they really don't have, Harper or Soto or any true recognized superstar per se. So I was like, well, it is what it is. It's fine. If the Cubs are this good, I expect them. They got a star-studded lineup. I get that they would get all that love. If the Bucks were like the Pistons, the NBA media would just ignore them like they ignore Detroit and not talk about them. That's exactly what's going to happen going forward with Milwaukee without Giannis, even if they're competitive and good. So them getting all this love every day, I just drenched me in all of that. Like, it is so much fun every day to be on X, and at night, do you know what angers me?
What's that?
Every night?
What's that?
The Brewers win. I was like, sweet, MLB tonight. Let's go. It's a game. They win. It's a game.
Half the league is an MLB.
They win.
team.
It's quick pitch. And I'm so desperate, I'll even watch quick pitch. And the girl on there doesn't say much of anything. Abby Labar, whatever her name is. Once in a while, she'll say something. But for the most part, it's just a highlight show. Gosh, give me a baseball highlight show at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, please.
Yeah, there's plenty of YouTubers that do that. Fuzzy, he's somebody that I really like. Fuzzy MLB. He does a recap every morning of like the yesterday's games and stuff. Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah. Talking baseball with Jake Storiale and
very good.
Trevor Plouffe. They do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They give great breakdowns of like the game's previous days and stuff. All this, you got plenty of options.
Chris Rose
Network too, but
does really good too.
What's awesome is all those things, YouTubers, these podcasts on TV, like you're talking about Foul Territory, a little teaser to my Sound of the Day later. They had Aaron Ashby on. Like, you're getting talked about by everybody, not just MLB Network, but everybody. And what's really crazy is not that they're just talking about them, because at the end of the season, I think everybody was talking about the Brewers pretty daily too. But now you're getting it at the beginning of the season. This is something that feels really new, that they're starting to get this hype this early.
I'm going to sidetrack real quickly on something. So last night in Milwaukee on Fox 6, Ted Perry must do a 6-pack of questions with somebody or whatever. And I'm not sure when it airs, but they teased it. It was him and Shane Drone talking. Shane Drone was in the league with the Savannah Bananas.
Oh, he was in that league too? Because you were hinting at that other guy yesterday too.
I want to say his first minor league game was against the Savannah Bananas. He goes, now, it's not to where it is now. He goes, but it was still kind of wild. He's like, I'm out there, and I'm going into my motion, and their first base coach is dancing over there next to first base. I'm like, what is going on right now? So even back then, they were starting that. They were a serious team, right? But that he was playing against them back in the inception. I had no idea.
The Savannah Bananas are playing at AmFam Field this weekend?
No, they're not.
They're not?
No, it's Banana Ball. It's two of the teams in that league. It's not the Savannah Bananas. This is like Party Animals and somebody else.
Okay, well, they're playing a game at AmFam Field. That's cool.
I think I heard it's sold out.
They were giving out last chance tickets. My girlfriend texted me about that. That's what I was going to say.
So it's going to be
check it out. Go see if you can find tickets.
It's going to be full.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, and like, who cares about semantics? It's Banana Ball. Yeah, it's cool no matter which team's out there, even if it's not the Savannah Bananas. I just always call them, they're all the Savannah Bananas in my mind right now until they become like
maybe
truly legitimate to me. They're all the Bananas.
Matt in Madison, you're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Do you think Tarek Skubal is the missing piece to a Brewers World Series?
I want to say something I think that it'll help us immensely. And maybe even we could definitely pitch pitch by pitch against the Dodgers, and we can match up pitching wise with anyone. But what I wanted to speak about is I tried getting on earlier when you were speaking about the trade.
Yeah.
The Brewers, our depth at, including the minors, at all infield positions from catcher to second base, shortstop, first base, and third base is immense. Our outfield depth is, with the exclusion of Jackson Churio, everybody else is pretty much dispensable, and is not going to be here for so long.
Agreed.
So the Luis Lara and Jet Williams are the two major league ready outfielders potentially, and we don't really have anyone else in the farm system in general.
Adam Shefsky's coming. He had his 8th home run this afternoon. He's coming. He's at the T-Rats, but he's coming.
Braylon Payne's coming.
Braylon Payne, too. Braylon Payne broke into the top 100 list for Baseball America today when they put out the new top 100 list. He's at the Timber Rattlers, too. I'm telling you, people, go buy tickets. That stadium should be sold out every game in Appleton, but go ahead.
So trade one of them, but we still need the two. We still need at least one of them to stay on the team because we're going to need at some point outfield help in the immediate future.
All right.
So I wouldn't trade both of them. I would be willing to trade them and one of them plus someone in the infield plus a pitcher.
Okay, that's fair.
I wouldn't want even Pena, but I wouldn't as you said, anybody besides for Andrew Fisher and Madej. But one of the outfielders needs to stay.
Got you. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not as attached to either one of them. You're right. The outfield depth is the one area where they're not as deep in the farm system, is definitely outfield depth. And you're going to have the draft coming up here again next month. We'll see what the Brewers do. Harder to go for need in that draft because, there's so many freaking rounds.
Right.
And you're talking with about high school kids and then having to sit in the farm system for 5 or 6 years.
Or half of them don't even want to code your team. They go to college instead now because there's money in college.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. From the 262, Scotty Tiffany says, we're going to the game tomorrow, so I'm glad Gasser is pitching today. That's very selfish of you, Scotty Tiffany. I'm just saying, I don't know. 715 says, with that exact package, I'd say make the trade. But right now, for extra starts, I'd prefer something starting with Pena because he's further away from the majors. Jet is a Bauer-type player with more upside who can help us now. I'd offer Pena, Lara, and a low-ceiling pitcher. We can agree to disagree on that. Pena's got far more upside than Lara or Jet, I think. The problem is you just don't physically know what is wrong with this dude right now. And leaving the game again last night with illness and having to be helped off the field, that's scary. I just want the dude to be right. I don't care about if he ever plays in a Brewers uniform or not. I mean, from a health perspective, it's like two scary situations that they've got to figure out. From the 414, let's see here. Oh no, that's something else. I gotta pre-read these before I actually read these on the air. That's what I want to read. 920. What are we even talking about? Did I miss why Caro got brought up and let Contreras walk because we go after Skubal? What did I miss? Also, I am so over with this Skubal talk. Stop effing with my winning team, 21-9. JB in the 920. Okay. First of all, we were talking about it because Charlie brought up Marco Dingus as far as you have two really good catching prospects. Dingus, again, down at A with the Timber Rattlers. Buy your tickets. And he's coming. And then you have Caro, who's at AAA, who is the next guy to supplant Contreras. What I said was, if you decide Contreras is your guy next year, and then you're going to let him walk as a free agent, then you potentially could trade Jefferson Caro in a deal at the deadline. And then Contreras leaves in free agency, plug and play a couple of vets for a year or two to then just gets there and go from that aspect. If the plan is we're moving Contreras in the offseason and we're not going to let him get to his walk here and get nothing for him, and Carroll's got to go be that guy, then Dingus becomes potentially a guy, or you don't trade either one of them, and Dingus is your fallback plan if Carroll can't stay healthy at the big league level, because he certainly can't stay healthy at the minor league level. So then that becomes your backup plan in that standpoint. All right, coming up next, Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports senior writer, will join us. Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And don't forget, you could become a champion of Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Join Bernie Brewer on his exciting $300,000 journey where you could end up scoring huge prizes now through the 25th of June. Win thousands in cash and reward play. All of your Bernie's Journey entries go into the Big League Series Grand Finale drawings on Friday, June 26th. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky, Pfeiffer, Charlie Hughes producing. Other side of the glass. Don't forget, leadoff show comes up at 5 o'clock. Gets you ready for game 3 between the Brewers and the Giants. That'll be a fun one. Then tomorrow on the road, everybody goes. Join Tommy Wirtz and leadoff show Explorium Distilled in the Deer District right at noon. Right before Milwaukee plays the Giants. That's right there in the Deer District across from Fiserv Forum. Then after the game, watch and listen to the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz as they broadcast live from 4 to 6 p.m. at the same location, Explorium Distilled on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. So if you're down in that area, you want to go hang out. It's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow. Hang out, talk some Brewers baseball, watch some Brewers baseball. That's where you're going to want to be tomorrow. Joining us now, right here on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That is all. He is Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports senior writer. Follow him on X with his name as well. Dan, your frustration about X and DMing is echoed by many. I was talking to my producer about it. He's like, yeah, it's funny. I put out a bunch of requests for our draft show we did for the Packers night. And like 3 weeks later, all these writers like, oh my God, I just saw this now. I'm so sorry. I would have come on. So it's pretty funny that you were apologizing yesterday. And I tell my producer, he's like, yep, I go through that all the time with people.
Yeah, ever since they changed, because my DMs are open, but I guess now you have to like request to see it, and I don't know. So I check it every now and then, but it's like I can't do it every day. So I forget. I don't know what they're doing over there. That app is not nearly as usable as it once was. But the bottom line is we connected, right? So all's well that
yes, that is the bottom line. So originally when I reached out to you, this was mainly going to be about Giannis, the Bucks, trades. There is so much going on right now with college sports today, however, that we're going to have to touch on that too, because I know that's one of your main things. Before we get to that, though, I want to get your thoughts on Giannis. And I said earlier in the show, because the Brewers are in this Tarek Skubal trade rumors like every day, which is crazy to me because they're normally never in any of these rumors for any of these like big name players. And it got me thinking, like, you know, if the Bucks or when the Bucks don't have Giannis and say they were like the Pistons and Cade Cunningham, they're going to be ignored by the national media like the Pistons were all year and simply just not talked about because they didn't have that MVP type player. So when the Brewers get all this talk, I'm like, my goodness gracious, this is wild that they're getting paid so much attention to. I thought Giannis would have a long list of suitors. And as the days go by, it feels like there is no long list of suitors. And the more and more you listen to it, Dan, it feels like there might only be like 3 or 4 teams at the most potentially bidding for Giannis.
Yeah, I think there's a combination of things going on. For one, teams maybe are a little bit suspicious. Are they really going to trade him, right? Are they really going to actually pull the trigger? So I think that's part of it. This has gone on so long, and it's been such a strange, slow-moving process. And it doesn't really seem like either side is ever fully committed to, all right, we're just going to do this. We're going to cut the cord here.
Yep.
So that's part of it. Also, the assets, you know, that it would take. And you look at the contract situation, and if you're trading for Giannis, you're probably signing him for a long-term deal that's going to be worth a lot of money as he gets into his mid-30s. And it's already seems like the injuries are piling up a little bit, and he's not available all the time. Obviously, look, Giannis is still Giannis, and he's a great player, and he's going to continue to be one for the next few years. But in this salary cap environment, everybody is worried about paying the guy $60 million a year who's only going to be able to play 40 games a season and is going to be banged up in the playoffs. And that's
what, if you sign him to an extension, you're going to be paying him $70+ million a year. Yeah.
Exactly right. And the aprons and the tax implications, it's very, very penal, this collective bargaining agreement, once you get into that range. So yeah, there's just, I think, naturally going to be a smaller group of teams that are going to be interested this time.
The other part about this is the Oklahoma City Thunder, because that was something else you brought up of like, hey, if you know the Thunder get bounced here, what do they do as far as them moving forward? And surely they're just not going to run it back with the same group. Chet Holmgren was such a no-show. I mean, 2 shots in a closeout game. My God, dude. Like, what is going on? And I said before, like, he might have had stuff going on off the court that we're not aware of. In personal life, whatever, and just mentally could not get himself involved because he was distracted. Regardless of what the situation is, does Giannis put them in a position to stop Wemby, to beat the Spurs and Wemby? Does he give them that shot? Do him and Shea work together?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting questions around all of the things and the fit that are totally valid. Just when I wrote that column, the way I was thinking was, maybe a year ago when Oklahoma City won that title and you're looking at all the assets they've got together and the age of their team, you're kind of thinking, okay, we can ride this out for the next 5 years with this group. And yeah, we'll work around the edges and we'll use all these assets to improve where we need to improve. And maybe a guy's going to get too expensive here or there and we can replace him, right? But I think this year, the way that series went, they've got a big problem on their hands. Like the San Antonio thing is not 2, 3, 4 years down the road. It's now. And for Oklahoma City, with their team and the group they've got, somebody on X responded to me and was saying, well, Sam Presti always he plays the long game. What long game? There's no long game, right? The window for Oklahoma City is in the next 5 years.
Yep.
And now in the next 5 years, they have got to get by Wemby. So how are they going to be able to reconstitute their team to do that? And I think the obvious natural answer is Giannis. Now, I don't know that that means they're going to do it or that they would do it or that they even are thinking about doing it. I'm just saying, like, if you've got the assets that they have, that is a trade that I think you should at least look at because I think it could work for both sides. There's salary that could work. Milwaukee's going to be rebuilding. They need draft picks. They can get a really good young player out of that deal. I think, to me, of all the possible partners for Milwaukee, Oklahoma City is one that actually makes sense, and there's not really many who do.
This is the funny thing about all of this. I'm with Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports senior writer. Follow him on X there as well with his name. Is Giannis keeps talking about championships, right? If the Bucks prove to me that we can contend for a championship, I'll stay. I'll sign the extension. I'll do whatever. Like, I'm never going to ask to be traded. He says it over and over again. Okay, fine. Then it was people saying, not him, people saying, New York, he wants to go to the Knicks. Well, damn. I mean, the Knicks are right there knocking on the door to potentially win a championship. So I think you could take them out of it. Now, the other hot team that everybody talks about is the Miami Heat. But Dan, they're going to trade half their roster. It's going to be him, Bam, and a bunch of nobodies. How are they going to pretend that they can win a championship? I don't care how much magic Pat Riley has. You're not going to be able to find enough players to put them in a position to come out of the East if that's where he ends up going.
That would be a terrible deal for him. And I don't know that it would necessarily be a great deal for Milwaukee either. What do the Heat have? What do they have to trade?
Tyler Hero would be the centerpiece, Wisconsin native. And as a Wisconsin native, he literally grew up like blocks from where we are. Sure. I don't want him. I have no interest in having him here. None whatsoever. None.
What does Tyler Hero do for a rebuilding team? He can shoot a bunch of shots and, I don't know. Does he sell tickets? I mean, maybe for half a year.
Family and friends. Yeah.
Not really. It's a stupid trade for both sides. I wouldn't do that.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Now, let's go to one more team, and then we'll talk about this college sports fiasco. I want to talk about the Orlando Magic, because the Orlando Magic just hired one of his favorite dudes in the whole wide world in Sweeney to be their head coach. They have front office guys that were here when they drafted Giannis and were here and helped raise Giannis, and John Hammond and Weltman and those guys there. So that makes sense. It's Florida. So like Miami, no state tax, nothing like that to have to worry about. They have a lot more young talent on that roster ready to go than Miami does at this point. But the idea of, well, we're not going to trade Wagner or we're not going to trade Banchero for Giannis. And now you tell me, it seems like complete idiocy to me. If I'm the Orlando Magic and I can move Banchero to get Giannis, it's over. I'm done. Like I do it immediately.
Well, I don't even know what the trade would be if it's not Paolo, because they don't have any draft picks. All their draft picks have gone to Memphis. So, I mean, to me, the construction of that trade is more or less Giannis for Paolo straight up, which you can make a case that to do that, I think, for Milwaukee. Paolo's not my type of guy, to be completely honest. Like, I don't, and I thought what he did over the course of this year was not really all that helpful, to be honest, but he's not my type of player. But you can certainly make a case to justify that if that's the road you want to go down with Orlando, but you need draft picks, and they don't have draft picks.
Yep, you definitely need draft picks. All right, Dan, let's switch gears here. Let's talk about college sports. I got some sound I want to play for you and get your thoughts. One, this Protect College Sports Act that they got going on, and they're trying to get done in D.C. and all this other fun stuff. One here is Nick Saban. I'm sure you've seen this one on Nick Saban, talking about how NIL has evolved since its first year.
Let me give you the history. My first year we had collective at Alabama, 2.7 million. Next year, 7 million. Next year, 10 million. I retired. Next year, 17 million. Next year, 24 million. Now you have schools that have close to $40 million rosters. So if we continue to do that, we're going to lose Olympic sports. We're going to lose non-revenue sports. We're going to lose scholarships. And basically what's going to happen is you're going to have football and basketball succeed, and we'll have club sports for everything else.
I tend to agree with Nick Saban that is probably the way we're going. I mean, here at Wisconsin, at least I can speak from our perspective. Chris McIntosh, before he ran to the Big Ten office, went to our governor to get $14 million from Wisconsin to help pay for stadium repairs and everything else, because he wanted to use that money to help with the NIL money to get more football players and basketball players. And he threatened the same thing Saban said, which is, well, the Olympic sports are going to go bye-bye if I can't get more money. I think that's exactly what could happen going down the line here if they don't get control of it.
Yeah, it could. But, look, I've said this forever, and I'm going to continue to say it. If universities, I'm not talking about athletic departments, I'm talking about universities, they can fund these sports if they want to. These are small line items on a budget for a university. But the model of college sports has always been a bit of a Ponzi scheme, which is that the biggest cost is scholarships, and the scholarships are paid for from the athletic department to the university. Okay. So universities can give kids scholarships for all kinds of things, right? You can give them for academics. You can give them because you need more geographic balance in your student body and you need more kids from the West Coast. So you give scholarships to kids from the West Coast. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. So I don't understand why some of these universities can't just say, yeah, you know what? We'll fund these teams because it's good for us for diversity reasons. It's good for us for potential Olympic development. And, somebody goes to the Olympics and they're in the starting gate for the 200 meter and it pops up and it says University of Wisconsin. That's a great thing you can do these things. So some of this rhetoric, I just find to be complete BS. Now there's real problems. Okay. And there's real issues with the way that NIL has completely ransacked a lot of these athletic departments' funding models, and there's going to have to be some evolution. And the other, hey, another thing you can do, maybe just a novel concept, is for some of these Olympic sports, maybe pull them out of the Big Ten or the SEC and form some regional conferences. How's that for an idea? So that you're not spending money to send your volleyball team to Oregon and USC. Yep. I mean, let's think about this in a more holistic, different way than just say, well, they're all going to go away. They don't have to. Let's work through some steps here before we get to that point.
I like Dan as commissioner of college sports. Okay, so let's hear for this. This one here is classic to me. This one, it made me laugh. This is Notre Dame athletic director Pete Mavakwa talking about why he doesn't want a super league, but listen to him talk.
My second concern is if you want to truly maximize the media value around the largest sport in terms of eyeballs, which is college football, I do think the best way to do that is a super league. And I certainly don't want a super league. I'm not sure anybody necessarily wants a super league.
Okay. So he doesn't want a super league. He absolutely does not. Now listen to how he finishes this.
Flooding the market, aggregating the market, bringing it to an aggregate form to major media companies. I'm not sure that's going to drive the value some say it will. If you wanted to maximize media value around college football, I think you would take 24 to 30 teams, create unbelievably competitive scheduling where a team like Notre Dame would play Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and start to get a number that more closely resembles an NFL number. I could be right, I could be wrong, but that's why I was encouraged that it's a voluntary application and that a lot more work could be done over the course of the next series of years to see if the value could prove itself out.
I don't like a Super League, but if it involves Notre Dame, I think I support a Super League. That's pretty much what he just said.
Well, let's back up a little bit on this. Cody Campbell wrote this bill. Okay, Cody Campbell is for people who don't know, he's the Texas billionaire oil guy who's funding Texas Tech. Okay, and Cody's got a lot of really good ideas, and he's got a lot of really bad ideas. But what is motivating Cody Campbell? And that's a big question I have, and it's hard to sort of get that answer. Why is he, just so heavily involved in all of this stuff? And you hear some people say, he made a bunch of money and he's in his 40s and he's kind of bored and needs something to do. And so this is it, right? And some people say he's doing it because he's afraid Texas Tech is going to get left behind when the Super League does form, right?
Makes sense.
So he's used his connections in Washington, D.C. and with this White House in particular, as a big oil guy and donor and all that stuff, to basically write this bill. He wrote this bill. Okay. Or at least he heavily influenced the way it was written. And so, what they want is a Super League without the Texas Techs of the world, if they could do it. Right. And this bill would frankly take that off the table in some ways, because it freezes. Yes, they can pull media rights, but there's not going to be what Pete Pavakwa said, which is the 25 to 30 or 30 or 40 or whatever number of teams, small number, that get into this merger. But ultimately, look, where this thing is going is in the natural evolution of college sports, and you can go back 50 years in the continuum of television and how it's influenced expansion and realignment, and eventually, Ohio State and Michigan are going to look at Purdue and Rutgers and say, why are we subsidizing you? And Alabama and LSU are going to look at Mississippi State and Missouri and say, why are we subsidizing you? And then they're going to look at each other and they're going to say, oh, well, if we join together, we can make a lot more money and we don't have to share it with these lesser schools. And obviously Notre Dame would be a part of that in whatever form it takes. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I don't know. But I mean, it just feels like at some point that's got to be the inevitable end game here.
I saw a report earlier today that Big 12, they were all ready to sign. They're in. Like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. Big 10 and SEC, they want nothing to do with this. They're completely against it. How or what do they have to do in order to get those two conferences on board with this act? What would have to be changed? What would have to happen to get buy-in from those two? Because without buy-in from those two, this doesn't mean much of anything.
So, again, to go back to my Cody Campbell point, I mean, the poison pill of this legislation, this proposed legislation, is that it essentially freezes the membership of the SEC and the Big Ten. You can't expand. You can't merge. You're where you are right now is where you're going to be. And if you're the Big Ten, why would you agree to that? If you're the SEC, why would you agree to that? I mean, if you look at the history of college sports and how these expansions happen, which is when your television negotiations come up with Fox and ESPN or whoever, well, the way you up the ante is you add members, you change your membership. That's how it's always happened. That's how we got here to this dysfunctional place. And you could say maybe the membership should be frozen. Maybe we should say, okay, enough of this. Let's say we're gonna cut it right here and move on and try to include everybody and all that stuff. But that's not the way these conferences have operated ever since Oklahoma Board of Regents versus the NCAA, the case that allowed conferences to retain their TV rights. The NCAA used to have all the TV rights. That case in front of the Supreme Court gave the conferences back their TV rights, which is what's driven everything in college sports ever since. So as it's written, the SEC and the Big Ten, I cannot see any circumstance where they agree that the federal government is going to mandate that their membership is locked in and frozen forever. So I think unless they take that out, I don't see the SEC and the Big Ten wanting to do it.
There he is, Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports senior writer. If you're a big tennis fan, he's all over tennis as well, especially on X. He's posting about everything there too. If you're a big tennis fan, not a lot of tennis talk on sports talk radio in this country, but he's all over it. Dan, thank you so much for coming on, man. We'll have to do it again. That was a lot of fun.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks.
You betcha. Take care. There he is, Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports again. Follow him on X at Dan Wolken. That was about as good as you get. Between the Giannis stuff and the college sports stuff, good. Charlie Sounds of the Day coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. I feel like they should play this every time Mizorowski walks out of the dugout to pitch the next inning.
Bad to the bone.
Every inning. He walks out for the second plate, walks out for the third plate, every inning.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like an old man song. I feel like
I don't care.
It needs to be something like more like his generation, That could fit in that spot. I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of music he likes, but
that's a whole nother topic.
It doesn't fit him.
One of these days, I want to do that topic. Like the music at a stadium. Who should the music at the stadium be geared towards? And at some point, we're going to talk about that this summer. I don't know when, but it's definitely something we're going to talk about because I have stories from back in the day with the Bucks at the Bradley Center. People getting all mad about street life and them and their band and all this. They play for old people and there's nothing modern. There's no rap, blah, blah, blah. It was a whole big thing. So we'll dive into that. James, south side of Milwaukee, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up, James?
Hey, guys. Not only would I give what you guys were talking about for Screwball.
So that is Jet Williams. That is Luis Lara. And it's, well, no, I'm trying to tell everybody that didn't hear the package, James. Hold on. Okay. So it's Lara, Jet Williams, and Bishop Letson. Those are the three minor leaguers that MLB Network proposed yesterday that the Brewers could trade to get Tarek Skubal. Okay, go ahead.
54 years old. I was in my mid-20s when the Packers won in New Orleans.
Yep.
A few years ago when the Bucks won. The Brewers never had one. I mean, it's just, I've been saying this, I've been talking to Tim for years. It's time to just do what you got to do and get a World Series to this town. We got the other two. It's time for the Brewers. And you know what? I know people are like, oh, you don't want to farm your future. Well, okay. I just heard guys talking about this earlier today on the show, on maybe not this show, but earlier today, I think it was Kuhn. And they were talking about, the Packers, they're perennial, they're in the mix, but they just can't get over that hump lately. Well, the Brewers have never gotten over the hump.
Correct.
So when is it time just to pull the trigger, do what you got to do? If you have to get a pitcher, Screwball, and a bat, give up what you got to get and get the city a World Series for Euchre. Because I remember he was telling people if they would have won a World Series back when a few years ago, he said he was going to retire if they won a World Series. He never got to retire.
Nope.
And I think it's just time to pull the trigger. Everybody else does it, man. Why can't we do it just once?
It's funny.
I mean, we've never gotten there.
I agree.
We've never gotten there.
Melvin had two big moves. He had the move. Doug Melvin had the move of getting Sabathia. Doug Melvin had the move of getting Greinke. Then you have David Stearns, who had the Yelich move, and then signing Lorenzo Cain the same day. That was his big day. Too, right? They got Moustakas and Yasmani Grandal later, but those were more short-term deals. But those were the deals.
We're talking 15, 20 years ago.
I understand. I understand, James. Just hold on. You are fired up. I love it. This is my thing. Each GM has had their big moves of these other two GMs. Matt Arnold has not had his big moment yet. And everybody's like, well, he's not going to do it again. We don't know. We have not seen Matt Arnold have a big moment yet. He's going to have his moment. Eventually, he's going to pull some big deal, and that'll be the moment that everybody's going to remember. Will it be this year at this deadline? I don't know. That's what we got to wait and see. There will be a big moment.
Can I share one more thing with you?
Yeah.
So in '82, when the Brewers went to the series, I was 11 years old.
I was 6.
And my mom and dad and my uncle, we watched it by my grandpa's house, and we all piled in my dad's old Impala station wagon and went down to Wisconsin Avenue. And not like these other cities do, we didn't tear down goalposts or tear down light posts and light the city on fire. We just went down there and celebrated. My dad is in his 80s now, and he has dementia, and there would be nothing great.
Yep.
He remembers that, and I don't know, dude. That's why I'm fired up. It's just emotional for me.
Yep.
I want to see him. Euchre didn't get to see it. I want my dad to see it.
Are you going to the post? Are you going to the post gamer concert with Tim on Saturday down there in Cudahy, outside of Spirits for that block party Saturday afternoon?
No, I'm out of town working. Oh. I'm in Madison for like 2 months.
Gotcha. All right, man. Sounds good, James. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. There he is, James, on the south side of Milwaukee, checking in. That was your decision.
He was fired up.
I'm just saying, let the record show I did not screw up the Charlie Sounds of the day, not airing in this segment.
You always say you want the show to be for the fans and for the listeners to be able to come on.
But I feel bad because I keep screwing you on this segment.
I'm not hurt. Don't
worry. I want my guy to know he's loved. And That was good. James, you can call back anytime you want, man. That's what I want. I want passionate callers. That's what I want. That was really, really good. Unfortunately, though, now we're not going to get Charlie Santos today. So now we have to move that to 420, which is fine. We'll get to it coming up at 420. Also, Green and Gold update comes up next. Talk more about the Packers OTA. Micah Parsons was at camp today, so we'll hear from him. And he was on a Jay Moore podcast, the comedian Jay Moore.
Stories.
Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. So we'll hear from Micah Parsons on the podcast as well. Don't forget, you can become a champion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Join Bernie Brewer on his exciting $300,000 journey where you could end up scoring huge prizes now through the 25th. Win thousands in cash and reward play. All of your Bernie's Journey entries go into the Big League Series grand finale drawings on Friday, June 26th. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. Going to be fun. I can't believe we're 2 hours through this show, to be honest with you. I cannot believe it. On the text line, hey, remember when Sparky wanted Contreras on the Brewers? Now all he talks about is trading him. Listen here.
We brought it up once.
I want you to understand something very clearly. I want them to sign William Contreras to a long-term deal more than anything. We talk about this because realistically, knowing the history of our team, they're not going to be able to sign him from a financial aspect. Now, he'll cost less than Terang for sure, but I still don't think it's a very likely scenario that it happens. That's why we talk about it. But yes, I want him signed long-term. So Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. We are live in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Thanks for listening. Whether you're in Wausau, listening to the game, the Fan in Milwaukee, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, and Green Bay and Appleton, the Fox Valley on 99.7 FM, WNFL, or in Wausau on 93.9 to the game. Appreciate each and every one of you. Tell your family, tell your friends, and I want you all to help us out a little bit, okay? We're going to be on YouTube for about a year coming up at the end of June. And for those of you that don't know, our YouTube deal that we have is the baby of Charlie and Tommy, because they started this before we had this whole full staff and the network and all this other stuff. And Tommy has a goal he would like to reach before we get to 1 year with subscribers. He has a number he would like to reach. And today, earlier, when there were some of us all sitting around talking, he made an impassioned speech to us to plead with people to go subscribe on YouTube so he can hit the number that he wants to hit by the end of the month. It's very reasonable. It's very reachable. It's definitely possible. So he's like, every time you talk about YouTube, please, please, please tell people to subscribe. We can hit a pretty cool goal in the first year. So on behalf of Tommy Wirtz, we would like you, when you go on YouTube to watch us at WI Sports Radio, please hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, your family members, hit that subscribe button. You also can, of course, watch us on X as we stream live, on Instagram Live, on the Fan Milwaukee Facebook page, streaming live in all those different areas. Thanks to Andy Herman for being on already today from the Pack a Day podcast. In the first hour, Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports senior writer, talking Giannis and college sports. He was really, really good in the last hour. And now it's 4 o'clock, which means we do this.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, today for our green and gold update, we're going to turn the controls over to Charlie Usen because it's pretty much a focus of Micah Parsons today. And I'm going to let him control it because he knows what's the best sound, what's not the best sound. We have Micah Parsons, who was on the Jay Moore podcast that he does. Jay Moore was on this show last year because he was doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee at Milwaukee Improv. So he was on last year. He was funny. Then we also have Micah Parsons, who is actually in Green Bay now, and he talked to the media, the local media, today. So we have a smorgasbord of Micah Parsons sound that Charlie can play. So Charlie, take the reins. Where are we going first?
So the first clip we're going to play is the one that was going around on social media the most of Micah Parsons. This is from his media availability with the reporters up in Green Bay, and he was speaking on his rehab, how it's going, and when he expects to be back with the Packers.
Just passed my 5th month on May 29th, so extremely happy where we're at and the direction that I'm going. So obviously got 4 more months to go.
What's the thing that you have done recently that you've been able to do the most recent that you weren't able to do previous? Like what thing is the new thing for you?
We just started running on an Ultra G past 2 weeks, so gaining my progression there. So
you said on locker cleanout day you realistically expected to miss the first 3 or 4 games. Has that expectation changed based on how your rehab has gone?
No, I think the goal has always just been not right now, but longevity with my career here, and I think they want that approach. And we have a pretty strong 9-month rule, so it's just all about just do the research and the data. There's no good outcomes with players coming back early from ACL, especially if you add in all the other things that get fixed up. So it's just all about completing the rehab the best of our ability and then seeing where we're at from there.
You know, number one, I'd like to say that I respect the heck out of Micah Parsons for staying disciplined on this whole thing and not trying to rush it and push it to be out there for week 1. I respect the fact that he is doing what they are telling him is the correct thing, which is no football activity for 9 months, which means September is the 9th full month, I believe, in this journey. if you look at the Packers schedule, their first game in October is the Buccaneers in Tampa. Let's assume that doesn't happen. Then October 11th is the Packer-Bear game. I would think that is the game circled. Maybe not, though, because the week after that is Cowboys on the 18th, and that's a primetime game. It may be the Cowboys game is his first game. It may be the Bears game in October 11th. The week after that is, of course, the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. That's in Detroit against the Lions. Now, I have no idea if he's got a goal as far as circled, if it's going to be, okay, once we get through September, let's see where we're at, and then make the target date of what we're going to try to get to at that point. Maybe we're too far out to circle and make a target date. But if we're at the point of find a date in October and let's set a realistic goal of what we can get to, Micah, where do you want to get to? For me, that Bears game, if I'm him, I want to be my first game because it's the Bears, sure, but also I want a week of playing before I get the Cowboys. I want to make sure I got any rust shaken off and I'm feeling good about myself, because that first game back, I would think that could probably be some hesitancy until he gets hit on that knee and some other things happen. There's going to be some type of hesitancy about trusting it, right? When you're out there because he's not going to play in preseason games. He's not going to play in inter-squad games against the Cardinals. So he's not going to get any of that. So he's not going to have that ability to get that first hit or get knocked in the knee to really trust anything. So that first week or two may be kind of the feeling out process before he really starts trusting it. So for me, I mean, the Buccaneers would be awesome October 4th. I just don't know if that's realistic. But if I could get him back for the Buccaneers, regardless if he plays, I don't know, say he plays 25 snaps in that game, and then they up him in the Bears game, and then they let him go full go in the Cowboys game, that I'm completely fine with. I would guess that if he's not back by the Cowboys game, he's going to be heartbroken. Because I'm thinking that's the game he really wants to be back for.
Right. I think so, too. And I think when you look at that Bears game, I think he probably wants to be back for that, too. The way this Packers team, those last two games went versus the Bears last season, they ended in heartbreak, both of them. And that was really frustrating. I'm sure Micah Parsons was really frustrated that he wasn't on the field to help be a part of changing the tides in those games, which I think he would have done in both of them. I think he's the key to that game. Caleb Williams doesn't feel as comfortable in the later half of those games. Like all that stuff that happened probably doesn't happen because Micah Parsons is on the field.
Right.
So I think he wants to be back for that Bears game too. I just don't think if he does come back for that Bears game, it'll be in that full capacity. It'll be in the half reps where he's going out there on third down potentially just to get the pass reps out. So he doesn't have to be in the run game. So he doesn't have to get rolled up on all these other things that you're worried about. And then Cowboys, you're full go. I think it has to be that Bears game. I think you save him from doing the trip to Tampa. You just have him come back for Chicago.
Earlier today, Ian Rappaport poured water on the rumbling and rumor out there of Josh Sweat, potential trade to Green Bay or Philadelphia, or whatever the case may be. Easton Butler has been the one kind of pushing that the entire time. And then there are some that decided to go take their shot at Easton Butler because potentially he might be wrong, which is Mason Crosby put up. I think it was Crosby or Kuhn, one of them. Said earlier today, yeah, with all due respect, I'm not believing that until we've officially seen nothing happen, not in. Because again, Butler had that Ram story the day before it actually happened. Rappaport didn't have it. Schefter didn't have it. He had it before everybody. So just because Rappaport says, well, it's not happening, maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe that's right. But that doesn't mean there wasn't talks and discussions and so forth. But that sucks if we're being honest, because to have that other premier pass rusher would have been a gigantic deal for the Packers, because Aaron Donald coming back, that's not going away. That's picking up steam every time somebody picks up the phone and talks to this dude. He keeps on, well, if I can find the fire in my belly, I might just. So
that also might be fun as a retired player, just to be putting your name out there, get people talking just for the fun of it.
Doesn't he see a free Super Bowl?
Probably, but he has a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's not like he's missing that already. Like, I think this is something where you just like stirring things because it's funny to see Pat McAfee make jokes about it and stuff on his show, all these other things. I don't know. I don't buy it.
The entire league, all the fans are hoping and praying to God he does not come back, because that would be insanity.
Maybe that's why I'm not buying it. Maybe it's like unconscious, just going away from it.
NFC's in a lot of trouble if he comes back. So that Packers, everybody. All right. So that was Micah Parsons earlier today with the media. Micah Parsons also was on that podcast, as we talked about, with comedian Jay Moore. What did we got from that?
So that podcast, more stories on that. You mentioned before how this Cowboys game is going to mean a lot to Micah, and he's going to be heartbroken if he doesn't play it. this is probably, or obviously, why that game is going to matter a lot to Micah. This is Micah discussing how the trade to Green Bay went down.
So where are you when you learn you get traded?
I'm in my house. I'm in my house.
You're in Dallas.
Yeah.
The phone rings. Who is it?
It's David. He's like,
his agent.
They decided they agreed to a trade. Now, if we're going to agree to the trade, you have to do the contract. Do you want to do the contract? Because they're not going to do the trade. So honestly, my trade wasn't like a surprise trade like how Dexter Lawrence and Sauce Gardner, where they was like, yo, you're gone. I had an option to stay or to go. So the Cowboys either like, you either play on your fifth-year option or you accept the trade to the Packers.
And the money they're offering you.
Yeah, but I had to negotiate that.
Right. So you go to the – so what's your initial feeling?
So we actually sent a letter to Jerry Jones, me and my agent, a heartfelt letter, like 3 pages. Like, hey, let's just do a deal to work out for both. We both said things that we didn't mean, blah, blah, blah.
What did you say that you didn't mean? I don't know about this.
Like, the trade is like a bluff. It's like poker. Like, doing contracts is like poker. Oh, my player won't be here. He won't play, blah, blah. You want to be traded, but, really, you want to be at home with your family, your loved ones, It's a difficult process.
So you write the letter to Jerry just saying?
Yeah, my agent wrote it.
Yeah.
You really wanted to be a Cowboy. You wanted to stay a Cowboy.
Yeah, for sure. At the time. Yeah, at the time. At the time I wrote this letter. And then when Jerry wrote us a letter back saying there will be no further negotiations, you either play on this fifth-year option and play next Thursday night, because I think the Cowboys played the first Thursday night game, or Friday night, whatever it was, or accept the trade to the Green Bay Packers. I was like, okay, this is where this relationship's at.
That's it. He made the decision for you.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, negotiate the contract.
First of all, I don't know what everybody else is thinking. My first observation is, did they get rid of phones in Texas?
Well, I think
did they not have phones? Couldn't you have picked up the phone and you and Jerry, and if Melgado wanted to be on the call, your agent, fine, it's a group call, whatever. You have the conversation about what's going on. We're writing letters like we're pen pals. What is going on here? Like, Jerry could have called him or called Melgado and been like, hey, got the letter, cool. No. So this is the deal. Do it this way. But he takes time to type out a letter or write out a letter and send it back in the mail.
I think Micah Parsons and David Malgada probably looked at writing the letter to Jerry Jones because he's an old-fashioned guy, because he is an old guy.
He is.
And he loves all of that kind of, I think, respectful kind of going back to the roots types of things. And writing a letter to ask him this, to kind of take pity on him almost a little bit and say, hey, I love Dallas so much. I want to be here no matter what. You guys have to be able to help me out a little bit too, because this is where I feel comfortable. This is my home. I think doing that over the phone doesn't mean as much to a Jerry Jones. And that's where the big problem comes in, where I think you went through all of this trouble to kind of appeal to what Jerry Jones is and the person that he is. And Jerry Jones still didn't want to do it to you or help you out and give you what you wanted to, when you were so willing to give him what he wanted. That's heartbreaking that you went through all that process to go to what he wants to do, like writing a letter, and you can't even get that done on the other end of things.
Micah Parsons deal to Jay Moore of, hey man, we said things we all didn't mean. Jay Moore's like, what are you talking about? Hey man, this is how it goes, contract negotiations. I don't want to be here. I want to be there. Blah, 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 blah. Because you're trying to get as much money as you can and try and put some pressure on them. The more times than not, you actually do want to stay and you do hope they give you a contract and you don't want to leave. So both sides say whatever they got to say to try and get the upper advantage on the other one to get a contract done. That's normally how it works. And I would agree with them. That is normally how it works, probably in professional sports, going back and forth, trying to figure this whole thing out. Look at all the drama going on in Milwaukee for the last couple of years with Giannis. So clearly there is a lot of that goes with it. Yeah, he's going to want to definitely play in that Cowboys game. I mean, we knew that before, but that's crazy. All right, what else you got?
This is Micah Parsons discussing how it felt to get that ultimatum from the Cowboys and Jerry Jones.
Are you like me, Micah, where anytime somebody goes, look, it's either this or it's that, it's like, I'm out. Anytime somebody gives me an ultimatum, it never is going to work for that person.
Yeah, I would say for me, it was just like, as a guy who wanted to be a Cowboy, and I played through the injuries. I played when I had fevers. I mean, it's all in the reports. Like
I got a
had
fever. I got a fever right now.
and I
So
played
what?
the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like it's just who I was, and I never missed practices. I never missed games, besides my high ankle. And like, I would have died out there on that field. And for me, it was just like, damn, like this is how you view me. Like I'm just this easy to, So, and it wasn't even like where it was like you couldn't even like call me or like tell me, you email my agent and tell me I was traded, like, but you called me in your office before, like you didn't even
Like a
do
son
it.
to me.
Yeah, like it was just so much fakeness going on where I was just like, damn, all right, bet I'm out of here.
That happens a lot. Again, fakeness is a thing, and you hear it all the time in professional sports where they say one thing to you, and the next day you're cut, or the next day you're traded, or whatever the case may be. That is very, very true. That is exactly how it all plays out. And the first time it happens to a player, that's the biggest heartbreak. If it happens again to Micah, he won't be as heartbroken, and he won't even be as mad as he was at that moment in time when it happened to him in the Cowboys. But it's the first time it happened, so that's what always hurts the most. Man, look at Kyle Harrison last night for the Brewers playing against the Giants. Murphy had to go over to him in the first inning. After the first inning, like, dude, calm down. Like, you're playing for the guys on this team. This is not you by yourself against the Giants. Like, chill out. It feels like you're a little overamped. Take a breath, whatever. And then Harrison obviously sat back, rock and rolled, 8 strikeouts in a row, and away he went. But that's a situation where that was the first team that traded him. Not the Red Sox he's mad at. He's still thinking about the Giants who traded him when he came up through their farm system. It's no different for him than it would be for anybody else. Anything else?
I have one more. Micah
right.
Parsons says that the Packers feel more like a family rather than a business, like we've been talking about.
So you go to Green Bay, you feel like you're a fan favorite, and now you feel like you're an organization, you're a franchise favorite.
Yeah.
That's how you feel now in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And you feel now you are a Packer. Like you are a cheese eating Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's who you are now.
Yeah. It's a beautiful feeling when not only can you could text the GM and talk to him and the head coach, and
you couldn't do that in Dallas?
No.
Really?
So many steps to, it's a business first, them players.
Well, he's an oil man.
Yeah, it's a business. They treat it like a business. It's business first.
Is it safe to say the Packers treat it more like a family?
Yeah, it's definitely family first. Like, I mean, my first day at a Packer, like, everyone says good morning. You're not walking that building without everyone in the building. Like, you wouldn't know who.
Hey, how are you?
There is no hierarchy as a Packer.
Like Fargo.
Everyone is like a genuine, like, there is, like, you would never be able to tell between someone cleaning your laundry and probably a coach if a random person walked in the building, because how they treat you. No lie.
That's awesome. Like that is one of the biggest compliments you can get from a player in any sport. And we always say Wisconsin nice or whatever. Like it's true, right? Just respect. You want to disrespect people, you'll get quickly turned on by everybody in that building, because word will spread quickly if you were a jerk to Lisa in wherever, and now it's on, oh, really? Yeah, screw that dude then. Right? That's how it's going to go. Now, you're cool to everybody. Everybody will love you, bend over backwards for you, do whatever you want them to do. You disrespect one, you disrespect all, and then it's all downhill from there.
Part of what makes that work is these players also realizing that they are on those same level as all these people that they're working with in some capacity. Yes, these people are helping you do your job, but also you can help them do their job. You can make life easy for them. You can say hi to them, because that makes their day sometimes if you're Micah Parsons or Tucker Kraft or Jordan Love.
Absolutely right. Hey, Wendy's invented the iconic spicy chicken sandwich. Wendy's new spicy chicken sandwich is crispier and more flavor-packed than ever. And the breading, even crispier. Flavor inside, loud outside. 9 peppers and spices give it that bold, layered heat. Wendy's spicy chicken. Order in the Wendy's app today. That, again, was the Jay Moore podcast called, what is it called? More Stories?
More Stories.
More Stories. You want to go listen to the entire interview with him
It's
and
like
Michael
a whole
Parsons.
hour long. It's really good.
Yeah, go check it out. And again, I got tipped off on that. Somebody texted me earlier today, hey, go check this out. It's really good. So Texted it to Charlie. Say, hey, let's get some clips. Let's go. Because I haven't heard anybody else talking about it. I haven't seen it on social media. So I'm glad we're able to bring that to you. All right. Finally, the time has come to get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. We have been waiting for hours. That's next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Charlie using over there. I want to hear Tim Allen's band play this at his block party on Saturday. And I want to hear Tim do vocals for this song right here.
I bet he could.
I'm pretty sure he's played this before. I think I've heard him play this before. Our house guest, Tommy Woods, is here.
CCR? That's what if I want an old person band, that's what I like.
Yeah, they do. I'm pretty sure they do. Actually, I don't know. I haven't seen this band enough. I've only seen the band the one time at the last post-gamer concert.
That's the only time you've ever seen him play?
No.
Oh.
This current band that he's in. It's the only time I've seen this current band.
He wants me to sing really bad.
You should.
Yes, man.
I've heard you singing here. You're pretty good.
Dude, if you do
what
it
was
outside,
I singing Thank You for Being a Friend, and then
Yeah.
the ska version came on like 20 minutes later.
It's really good.
That was weird.
You go sing at this on Saturday in Cudahy. It's a block party in front of that Spirits
Well,
Bar
it's
or
in
whatever.
South Milwaukee, first of all. Don't say it's
Spirits
Cudahy.
South
Jesus.
Milwaukee. Sorry, whatever. So Spirits in South Milwaukee. So it's gonna be right there in front of there, I guess, in that block. They must be blocking it off or whatever. I mean, you're outside. People are going to be drinking and partying. Nobody's going to be paying attention to you anyhow. There's your time. Do it there. But don't do it in like a bar setting where everybody's watching you and you're the focus. If you do it outside a block party, half
what
the
if
people
Tommy has
won't
like a secret talent and then it's in front of a bunch of people and then it gets posted online and somebody becomes famous?
People call me the songbird.
That would be great.
Generation.
That
What
would be
movie
awesome.
is that from?
I'd be very happy for him if he actually ended up going and doing something productive. That'd be good.
Oh, because I never do that.
Damn.
Dude,
Good.
I've been taking shots all day today. Just proving my point of you guys would have
You've
half
done nothing.
the content.
You've done nothing productive with your singing at all. You sang one national anthem and then retired.
Yeah, and that
was
went out
it.
on top.
So you might actually be good. Who knows?
Let's take a hand poll here. Who has sang the national anthem in front of 1,200 people in the room? Anyone?
Nobody sees you.
Only Big Titan Tommy.
Thank you.
But he did raise his hand. Yeah.
Who did? He did?
You raised your hand. Nobody
I
could
did.
see you on camera.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
You did raise your hand.
I did.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day? You push it off the entire show all day. It's what I want to hear.
You're the one that came in here and turned on your microphone and wanted to talk. Hit it. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's do it.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, Charlie, using where to first?
All right. So first up, since we were just talking about the Packers, I feel like I want to keep talking about the Packers a little bit. This is cornerback Keyshawn Nixon discussing the Chicago Bears and what he expects for that rivalry this upcoming season.
Still have a bad taste in your mouth from Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see them twice a year. They know what's up. We know what's up. That's what it is.
What do you expect when you see them on the field again?
Free smoke. We got to play ball. They got to see us twice a year. I mean, they had a good year last year. It's their first time. It's cool. We'll be ready.
Is that good for the rivalry? Do you hate them?
They hate us more than we hate them. We've been worried about other teams, you know. We worry about them now, though. They're definitely a good football team. They coach well. They play hard. But our process is not the Chicago Bears. That's not our Super Bowl. Our process is to win the North first. So the way we do that, we got to beat them anyway. It's just like Detroit and Minnesota. So our division is going to be up for grabs regardless because of the amount of talent that's in our division, just like the NFC West. I think the NFC is just the more loaded side. So the Bears is not like our thought process of the offseason. Like, who cares?
Do you feel like you let them off the hook? 2 years ago, they had like an 11-game losing streak. Then Jordan Love gets knocked out of the game. Christian Watson goes down. They win. And then what happened twice in December last year? Do you feel like you're letting them off the hook?
I don't want to say we let them off the good, but we didn't finish as a team. So I think our mindset this year is to finish, and that's our goal. I can't really say we let them off the hook. I mean, football is an imperfect game, and the situation that we were dealt with last year was just imperfect. It's just the way football goes.
Why was this even a topic? Tell me. We are at
For
OTA.
multiple questions,
So, yes, you're in shorts. Why are we asking about the damn Bears? Like, did somebody get a media credential from Chicago that came up here from like the Score in Chicago to go ask questions? Is that what this was? It's so stupid. Like, come on, man. Be better. What are we doing asking about the damn Bears in June? Stop. Good job, Keyshawn Nixon, for not giving him anything. They were fishing. I mean, my goodness gracious.
There's got to be something else to ask Keyshawn Nixon, right? Like Brandon Cisse is working with him, so you can ask him about that because you asked Jaden Reed about Matthew Golden yesterday.
How about Keyshawn, how much better do you think you can be this year than you were last year?
He's just gonna say he's the best cornerback in the league. That's what, like, he's CB1.
Then you laugh and walk away and go talk to somebody else. You don't sit there and listen to that nonsense. I'll tell you that much. All right, where are we going now?
Next up, we're gonna head on over to foul territory, where Brewers relief pitcher Aaron Ashby was discussing how he doesn't like watching pitchers celebrate.
I've never been one to like celebrate. I think you're just supposed to do your job. Your job's to put up a 0, and then I get it. And I'm not like one of the guys that's like, oh, this is terrible. I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's eyewash.
Well, then you don't like pimping homers on the other side, no?
I think a homer's harder to hit than a clean inning for a pitcher.
Okay.
I think there becomes a time where you've gone like a bat flip, whatever. I think a lot of our guys actually do it in a really graceful way. Just like admire it and then kind of drop the bat or whatever. Like JB and Yelly, I think, have the best when they get one. Bryce too. Like just lean back. Locaine used to do it. Lean back, admire it, whatever, and then jog the bases. I think it's perfect. So
is that done? Is he done?
Yep.
2 quick notes on that. Number 1, if he was a football player, he definitely would be an offensive lineman. That's the first thing, because that sounds like a complete offensive lineman statement on everything that he said. And number 2, he is way too smart. I would never want to hang out with that cat. Like, I would be out.
Just
like,
from the celebration comment?
No, I'm done. We're not hanging out.
I didn't get like smart.
You could be next to me in the locker room. We'll talk. Like, I'm not gonna be a jerk to you or anything, but like off the field, listening to that, no, I'm out.
Just because he doesn't want to celebrate.
You could just feel
We've
like
talked about Abner Uribe like over celebrating before. I think it is dumb when he's doing 18 celebrations for striking out the side. Like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not that cool.
I understand. I'm the old guy in the room. Fine, I understand. But let's be straight about something. If I said you could go hang out and go party with somebody tonight, Uribe or Ashby, where are you rolling?
Uribe.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Thank you very much.
But that's for partying.
Oh.
Like maybe if like just normally hang out, I'd rather hang out with Aaron Ashby.
No, I don't think so.
Like in certain situations, yeah, I think Abner Uribe is fun, but maybe in certain situations, Abner Uribe is not that fun, and Aaron Ashby just is base level fun. You know,
like guys like Tommy Wirtz. Now there's a good example of a guy that's like an everybody guy. Like that's a guy that you put Tommy in a room with whoever, and they're all going to want to hang out with Tommy and drink and have a good time. I don't think that same thing applies for that. If you put him into a room with a bunch of guys, I don't think that same thing applies to Aaron Ashby. I don't.
Is Abner Uribe an everything guy?
I don't know, but I think it would be fun to go party with him. I don't know if he's an everyday guy or not.
Who on the Brewers team would be the most fun to go party with?
Probably Uribe.
Really?
Probably. I mean, I don't know all of them one way or the other.
To be honest, Jake probably parties.
Jake's I think Jake's an everyday guy more so. I think he's more like you.
Jake is an everyday guy. You know what? That's the nicest thing you've said to me.
Yes, I think you're right. Jake is an everyday guy. Jake Bowers, for those of you that don't know who the hell Jake is.
I'd rather hang out with Aaron Ashby than Christian Yelich.
Yelich seems boring.
That's what I mean.
And boring, stuffy. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I would do that. Now, I could see those two rolling together.
Yeah.
Ashby and Yelich go hang out, have a bottle of wine or a glass of wine or something, maybe.
Andrew Vaughn.
I don't know.
Dude, you got the best Andrew Vaughn I've ever heard.
We
You
had
did.
Vaughn on, and Vaughn was good with us.
He was great on when you filled in for us in the offseason.
Yes.
And ever since then, he's back to like the most stone face of
maybe
stone face.
off-season Vaughn is much better than in-season Vaughn. Because he's like focused and all of that. And the offseason,
I've never heard Andrew Vaughn talk like the way he did when he talked to Sparky. I don't know what that was, but it was like,
awesome.
It was like Willie Adames took over Andrew Vaughn's body.
Yeah, he was really good. Like, I could totally go hang with that Andrew Vaughn. The guy that we talked to the offseason, he was laughing, having a good time.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He was great.
I don't know what you did.
I'll go roll with Andrew Vaughn every day of the week. No doubt. Okay, what's next?
And last up here, we're going to head on over to the San Diego Padres instead and hear from Nick Castellanos as he discusses the challenges of playing in a big media market.
Challenges of playing in like a major media market like this compared to some of the other places you've been?
Challenges?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, media always wants controversy, right? Because it makes them relevant and there's clicks, and they'll take something small that probably shouldn't be talked about, and then they'll blow it up because they want a story, and then it becomes something, and it can just distract from like
the purity of the game. So that can be challenging.
Wow, what a loser.
I'm not a Castellanos guy myself.
Did you guys see he got cut today too?
He did.
He got cut, got DFA'd today.
I'd sign him.
What?
Straight up.
Dude.
I'm telling you right now.
You just said I'm not a Castellanos guy. I told you he got cut, and you were like, sign him.
For him to play
Right.
DH, that's all he can do.
I'm
He
not,
doesn't play good outfield.
I'm not picking up his contract, so he's going to clear waivers when nobody else wants to pay him his contract.
Right.
And then I can get him for a minimal amount of money to put out there as a veteran outfielder to rotate in instead of watching Blake Perkins
Lockridge
run around or whatever else.
Lockridge was just he's going to be back in like 2 weeks.
And
Lockridge.
Luis Lara hopefully gets called up.
No
someday.
Well, he's getting traded for Scooble now.
There's
so.
no chance Lara's coming. I mean, that would be great if we could see Lara, but I just don't.
right.
I mean, Castellanos would be that vet guy that Murphy would love to have, a guy that's been in the playoffs, been in the postseason, has had big
He
moments,
is-
all of that.
You want to talk about personalities? I
Yes,
don't want to
I
be around.
agree.
Nick Castellanos
I agree.
is
He's like
like
kind of a weirdo too. Like,
yeah,
just in general,
he is
he's
not a
weird
nice
person.
dude. Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying. That's why I said not my type of guy. I'm not a fan of the dude. But to have another veteran bat in there that's been in big moments, that's been in the playoffs, that's experienced all that.
I
to
kind
have
of feel like he would come into the clubhouse
to have
and be
that
like,
off the bench.
"I've been there before, guys,"
Sure,
and
fine.
it would be kind of a tool to hang around.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying to have that veteran bat on the bench that's been there, I like that idea.
Doesn't that just feel like Jesse Winker? Like, isn't that where just the territory we're going down
that's
right here?
great
If you bring in Nick
comparison. I'm
Castellanos?
out just like that.
He's
Charlie
a
did it.
better overall player than Jesse Winker ever was.
Yeah, but like the personality is. Still,
Oh yeah, well, personality, whatever.
like that's just it's not worth the trouble.
Wait, you want to get Sparky real excited? Go see how many games Castellanos played at third base in his career in
I
Major
know.
League Baseball.
I know. And I'm not, because I've looked at him before for third base within the last year or two. I have.
Oh, that is just so bad.
We're gonna get Andrew Vaughn by the end of the year.
No, you're not.
Not
No,
getting
you are
Andrew
not. He's
How
played
could you
2
say no? You're
career
not.
games.
Pat Murphy plays a different lineup virtually every day. You're telling me there's not a chance that at some point he may not stick
Nick
Vaughn at third
Castellanos-
base just to see?
0%.
Nick Castellanos has played 527 games at third base in his career.
Oh, wow.
A lot.
And that's 525
The problem
more
is-
games than Andrew Vaughn.
The
has played
problem
at
is
third base.
he's
a
old.
negative 46 DRS.
Right.
And
Negative 46?
Yes.
You might as well play Thunder at third base. What are you talking about?
it's not as bad. He's a negative 96 in the outfield in his career.
Wow, dude, this guy.
So now you want him at
stinks.
third
I
base all of a
don't
sudden. Now all of a sudden, now you change your mind, Tommy Hahn. Now you see, Charlie breaks the facts, and
Oh, man,
maybe
wow.
not we'll have him at third.
Jeez.
Yeah. Tommy Wirtz, Charlie using over there. Coming up, things that we missed on today's show. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky, Pfeiffer. Charlie Usen dancing over there on the other side of the glass. He was the obnoxious yelling one last night, the Milwaukee Milkmen game. If you were in the motivated,
did you have scratch tickets? What was that?
Yeah, so they do like these inning things like in between where they give stuff out and stuff. One of the things was a scratch row for your row. And I really wanted that one, and they were standing pretty close to my section, so I just started screaming. I was like, bring on the scratchies. He would like go down to a different row, be boo, boo, boo. And then he'd come back up and I was like, bring them on. And then he gave us the whole row of the scratchies.
Were they like actual scratch tickets or for like the milkmen?
No, they were actual scratch tickets.
Isn't that like problematic, like where children are to be handing out scratch
He
tickets?
didn't give it to children.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Hold on.
He gave it to adults.
You have pull tabs all over this state. And pull tabs are normally in bars, right?
Yeah.
I've seen online at different bars in this state, they have high chairs that are bar level, so you can belly up with your kid in the high chair.
We have those
and there's pull tabs that are sold there. All these bars have pull tabs all over.
I'm not saying
so
they can't be
off
sold.
A pull tab, what does it matter?
I'm just saying, like, handing them out, like if a kid got them or something, the kid can't win off the scratch.
I let my kids scratch my tickets, give them a dime or something. Here, scratch off my lottery ticket or whatever at the gas station.
Right, you give them $5 back if you win the big prize.
I don't give them crap.
I'm not saying I
that.
care.
No.
I'm just saying, is that not problematic?
No, I don't think it is.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Tell your kids to go get some.
or something,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess.
Well, cigarettes are way cooler. Come on.
Did
Sorry.
you know you can become a champion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee? Join Bernie Brewer on his exciting $300,000 journey where you could end up scoring huge prizes now through the 25th of June. Win thousands in cash and reward play. All of your Bernie's Journey entries go into the Big League Series grand finale drawings on Friday, June 26th. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. Since Tommy hijacked our show, let's just bring to him what we talked about in the first segment of the show. The MLB Network proposal that they had on last night for Terry Skubal was Lara, Jet Williams, and Bishop Letson. We said, would you do it? Some said no. Me and Charlie said yesterday I would have done that deal.
Yeah.
What did you even think about it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would run to Detroit to do that deal. You're going to lose a good prospect if you're giving up for Tarek Skubal. Right. Like you're not giving up. If Luis Lara is the best prospect, Letson I think is top 10 right now for them. He's been a little banged up.
But you keep Dingus, you keep Fisher, you keep Pena, you keep Madej. I mean, you keep your high-end guys.
I completely agree. I thought the conversation would start with Luis Pena. I still think it would. I don't think Detroit would give up. I think it would cost something more like Pena and not necessarily Lara, but Pena and Letson, and then that would be the deal. More you give up two higher guys than you would give up three spaced out a little bit more like that.
Charlie had the list of guys that were going supposedly in their package deals was the Dodgers.
Yeah, that pitcher's 27 years old. Yeah.
River Ryan or whatever his name is. Yeah.
And he's their number 7, I believe. Mike Sirota's their number 4 prospect. He's an outfielder. The Yankees were giving their number 2, 3, and number 8, I believe.
But their farm system isn't.
Yeah, their farm system
nowhere near as good.
No.
I am ready to start to get ready. I'm about a month away from getting ready to sell the farm.
We were talking about Castellanos earlier being released, and I was like, hey, veteran experience. He's been there. Let's bring him in. 920 says, currently, the Dodgers rosters of players have total of 33 World Series rings. The Brewers have one player with one ring. Either way of any trade, how do you compete with
Who's
that?
the one player with one ring on the Brewers right now?
Contreras?
Oh, yeah. He's got one with Atlanta. Good job. Yeah.
So, I mean, again, from the perspective of youth and inexperience versus the team that's been there and done that, how big of a deal is that really once you get into that series? Because it's not a one-game deal. It's a series deal.
Right.
The Milwaukee Panthers baseball team, okay, you shocked the world, you beat Auburn. Then you took out UCF. The problem is you had to play Auburn 2 more times.
Right.
And in a series, that extra talent or whatever normally is going to, sift its way through and come out on top.
So you think having a guy like Skubal gives you a better advantage for a series as opposed to a game?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, the other thing is Skubal's not been there yet either. We also got to remember this.
He did pitch well in the postseason
He did,
last year.
but he's not been in a World Series or anything.
Well, Jordan has.
Yes. Well, back to Alonso again.
Alvarez.
Why I keep calling him Alonso? But the thing is this with Skubal, and this is what they've been talking about on MLB Network. You have Skubal, Miz, because Harold Reynolds is like, Skubal's your one. I don't care about Miz. Okay, so let's say that's true. Skubal, Miz, Harrison. Is there a better front three? Because if you talk about the Dodgers, Yamamoto,
Otani and Glass
now.
And
Those
Snell.
three.
Oh, there's Snell
Well,
too.
there's 4 if you go 4.
Oof.
That's tight, right?
I don't
but
think
once you
it's-
get past the Dodgers, who else is there that competes
I
with that
think you
3?
still give it. Yeah, right. I
That's
think the
it.
Dodgers still edge out the Brewers
Sure,
in
that's
that
it.
just because we don't know Harrison's this is the best 11 game stretch of his life.
Correct.
So now you have to wonder if a 2-pitch pitcher could be that in a postseason matchup too.
Sure.
Whereas the Dodgers have, I don't know why there wasn't more or isn't more Major League Baseball pitchers doing what Blake Snell did last year when he literally just had the cheat sheet in his back pocket and was pulling it out in the middle of at-bats to know where to throw and when to throw it. That I thought that was just ridiculous last year, and no one has adapted that other than him.
McGill pulls out his card between batters, I believe, every time.
Oh, does he?
I believe he did last night. He was pulling it out.
Unscored upon in 7 appearances now. Is he back?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's back. Uribe struggled and they got out of it, but that was a little bit of a struggle there.
I would do
And
the deal for Skubal. I would do that. If that was the deal, if that's the framework, I would do it.
I heard you last night going off, and you were texting me going off about Rengifo not chasing after a foul ball.
No, it wasn't a foul ball. It was the one that went in between him and short.
Right. So
Yeah.
not hustling.
Not hustling.
Now,
Dogging it.
Now, again, normally, Pat Murphy, there would be something that goes along with that, right?
Right.
Was there anything go along with that?
I didn't hear anything.
Is he in the lineup today?
He is.
See?
Do you know,
That's what I mean.
you
I
didn't
don't-
see the lineup at all yet?
No, we don't talk about. We tried not to talk about the lineup.
Can I spoil it? Because it's pretty.
No, because I want people to listen to 5 o'clock hour. It's a ratings game.
Okay,
Come on.
fine.
No, I want
Well, there is something juicy at the top.
Ooh.
Vaughn's hitting third and batting leadoff, or at third and batting leadoff.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Wow. It's even, it might be it's you're not even right. You're not right.
I'm telling you right now, if Jake Bowers is leading off,
Dude.
That's over.
First of all, I would not have saved that if Jake Bowers was leading.
He would have came in here immediately.
I would have.
He would
It would
push
have
you out
been
of the way.
breaking
Yeah, he would
news.
have
Like Micah Parsons gets traded, Tommy stay on the air for 2 hours.
Right.
I'll do
Yes.
live broadcasts of the game. Jake Bowers leads off the entire 3 hours.
The whole 3 hours.
3 hours
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know. I'm sure we can cut a side deal with Pat Murphy for one game just to see him do 3 hours on YouTube.
Yeah, we can make that work.
I think he'd be like, all right, one game, that's fine, no problem. Next time we play the Pirates or
YouTube, so
somebody.
no FCC on YouTube. I'm allowed to
Correct.
do whatever then.
Yeah.
Just YouTube exclusive.
It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Those sweet tones of Tommy Words. So we'll continue to go through your radio between 5 and 6:30 with the leadoff show. And then after the last pitch, you make the switch to Tim and Tommy. Have a good night. Toodles.